This is Casper de Nora, and you're watching the Chat with Chaps live show.
Good evening and welcome to the Chat with Chaps live show. I'm your host, Joe Zampa, and unfortunately tonight we're coming to you after a very painful night at the Den with Mill playoffs dream coming to an abrupt end, losing 2-0 to Hull City. Before we get going, please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. As you know, everything we do for this channel goes to Cancer Research UK. You can do your bit just by simply liking and subscribing to the channel. Obviously, it's been an unbelievable sport this year for the Mule community. From the start of this podcast, as you know, we've raised well over £51,000, which is absolutely incredible. And that number is constantly going up and up and up. So thank you very, very much. We will get to the chat in a second. But before I do that, I would like to introduce to you the one and only Disco Steve. How you doing, Disco?
Evening, Joe. Oh, no. Oh, that's more like it. Yeah.
That has got to be the most depressing dance that the viewers have ever had to.
Feel better already. Feel better already.
Jesus.
How you doing, Disco?
I know, I'm shit, Joe, to be honest. Yeah, no rhythm in me tonight. I said to you off air before that I've actually got worse today. I took it quite well last night, or reasonably well, but I've got worse as the night's gone on. But look, well done you, Joe, for starting the show up with a really positive intro. And look, we'll try and dissect tonight and hopefully get people a bit more back on track and try to get ourselves, back in the groove.
Yeah, that's all we can do, isn't it? Onwards and upwards. We will talk about the two legs, and we'll talk about our season in a nutshell. But cheers for coming on, Disco. And next up, the man with all the numbers, all the facts. He's probably got a spreadsheet stuck there on his desk, hiding out off camera. It's the one and only Stato Stephen. How you doing, Stato?
I'm treating this like it's free therapy. To be honest, it's therapy for the listeners. It's therapy for us guys. The song the Lions come out to, the lyric that's sticking with me at the moment is "Come rain or shine" all the time. And unfortunately, we've always said this: when you do a podcast, when you support a football team, you're there for the wins. You're there for the draws and you're there for the losses, and you keep going. And unfortunately, it was a damning loss, but we're here. As I say, it's therapy, free therapy for all. Say what you like, get your comments in. We'll say what we think. I'm sure a lot of us are pretty much aligned with our thoughts, but that sometimes you gotta deal with these things and accept that it just wasn't our day.
No, well put there, Stato. Expect nothing less of you, mate. So cheers for that. And last but certainly not least, the man behind Angelo's analysis, the Sicilian godfather himself, is Angelo Migliotto. How you doing, Angelo?
Hi, Joe. Nice to be on the live show again. Not very good circumstances, but pleased to be here. And like Stato says, let's get it off our chest, and hopefully we'll feel better by the end of the show, mate.
That's it. It's all we can do. Right.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what's going to cheer us up. Let's introduce our lovely listeners. That would cheer us up, wouldn't it? First through the door, it's the one, it's the only, the legend, John MFC. How you doing, John? Not the ending we wanted, but well done, lads. And thank you, chaps and Bex. Look, there you go. A £10 donation. John, you're absolutely legend, mate. Thank you so much for your kind donations this season. I don't know what that works out to be, but it's a big low then when you add all those up, all those £10. So on behalf of everyone, Chat with Chaps, all the Mill family, John, thank you so much, mate. And I hope you and the family are all good. Next through the door is Alex MFC. Alex, hope you're well, mate. Dave Turner, hope you're good. Jason, good to meet you. Guys, I won't be able to read your comments, Sally. I'll also say hello quickly. So Max, hope you're well, mate. Andrew Roberts, good to see you. Lee, hope you're well. Robbo, thanks for joining us. Jeff Cook, how are you, Jeff? Hope you're good, mate. Jeff Turner, Oscar, how are you, mate? Hope you're good. We've got Dave W in the house as well. Craig Jones, how you doing, Craig? Hope you're well. Mark Murphy, good to see you. Dan, the awful gambler, good to have you on board, mate. War Lion, on to next season, absolutely. Dan, good to have you on, mate. Chris Brown, I tell you, all the regulars are in tonight, mate. I'm so proud of you boys for not, and girls, of course, as lovely Becks. So glad for you to be with us this evening, despite how we must be all be feeling at the moment. The Danish Destroyer himself, there he is, Jesper Damgaard. Jesper, I hope you're well, mate. I'm sure you're doing a nappy change at the moment, holding a bottle in one hand and a curry in the other, and a beer. Legend. Robbo, good to see you, mate. Hope you're well. What was that? Sorry, disco dance display.
Yeah, Trump's dance moves.
We need a bit more.
That was a bit awkward.
We need a bit more oomph, a bit more passion.
Sorry, yeah, a bit like the performance last night, wasn't it? Sorry.
Exactly. Mubby Jones there. How you doing, Monica? Hope you're well. Colin, there we go. I think we're there. John, good to see you, mate. Callum, thanks for joining us, mate. Joseph, good to see you. There you go. Look, brilliant. All in the house. Look, guys, it's incredible. I mean, as shy as we're all feeling at the moment, I mean, to be where we are, and there's almost 80 of you in the chat already. It's incredible, and we really do appreciate it. So I'm going to bring up your comments on the screen there, guys. Just beside Angelo's head. Sorry about Angelo. You're right there. Good stuff. Right. So look, let's crack on the show then, guys. Lots to talk about. If we can start off with yourself, Statter. Let's get straight into it. So Millwall 0, Hull City 2. As you know, it was 0-0 from the first leg. It was all to play for at the Den, and sadly, we just didn't turn up when it mattered, did we?
No, and if truth be told, I mean, I was there on Friday night in Hull. Jeff in the chat with a decent away day, and we didn't get the job done there, which we probably should have. Weren't at our best on Friday, but we were the better team. And then last night, just the occasion, the atmosphere, the players. I tweeted last night that for me, there was only 2 players that come out with any real credit of the game last night. Some people said I was harsh. Some people had named other names. But the key to Millwall's success is the spine of the team. We've had a strong defence. Josh Coburn up top, getting us up the pitch, and midfielders that keep us going. And unfortunately, the spine. Not sure what happened there. The spine of the team just wasn't there. Taylor bit missing is a blow, but I think we should have had enough. We should have made it the atmosphere. Robbo was there when he at the start giving his speech about Huddersfield and what he expected from the fans and the players, and it was just very, very disappointing to not test the goalkeeper in a home playoff semi-final. It leaves a very disappointing taste in your mouth, and I think we'll get into individual players. We'll get into, all of our thoughts and feelings on other bits and pieces. But we spoke off air about full-time whistle when I was slumped in my chair. I did stay. The players got clapped off for their efforts by those that did stay. And I think you just look around and there's a lot of people that have realised this is a huge missed opportunity this season for the Millwall Football Club. And unfortunately, we have to deal with that.
Yeah, no, well put there, Sato. Thanks, mate. Angelo, obviously you're one for the older analysis. Tactically, where did you felt it went wrong for Millwall yesterday?
Well, I was hoping that we were going to come out of the traps at home with all our fans, with the atmosphere. I was there for the Robbo speech. It buzzed me up, the Robbo speech at the beginning of the game. And I just thought, we've just got to come out full tilt and just go for it early doors and get the early goal. And then all of a sudden, shock, new system from the whole manager. I think it threw the Millwall team. And I don't think we got into their half for 15 minutes, did we? They were just all over us. And obviously what happened there, it flattened the atmosphere. And then it was just a grind and a struggle from there on. So could he have just really gone for it with like a 4-4-2 and start with 2 strikers? I don't know, mate. But yeah, it was the worst possible start that we had to the game, and we just didn't recover from it, mate. We just didn't recover. So credit to the whole manager, mate. Made a couple of changes, changed the system. Josh Coburn, I said it in my analysis, if he'd have scored up at Hull, I was giving him 10 out of 10, mate. Yeah, what a performance from him up at Hull. And what they done to nullify him, they just put another centre half on. Everyone said, "Oh, Ajayi is shit. He's this, he's that." Mate, the geezer done a job on him, and there was 3 of them. So all the time there was at least 2 of them on him constantly, and he didn't get a sniff, did he? Did not get a sniff. Josh Coburn. You couldn't have two different performances, mate, and. You got to give them credit. I know it's horrible. You got to give Hull credit, mate. They've done a job on us.
We'll probably talk a bit more about the formations, tactics, a little more depth in a second. But cheers to that, Angelo. Disco. Obviously, what was your immediate thoughts, feelings after watching that game last night? Obviously, you wasn't there. You're up in sunny Bolton, weren't you? But nevertheless, I'm sure it must have been as equally as painful as it would have been there. I'm sure.
Yeah, horrible, Joe. Look, don't want to be wise after the event. I had a bad feeling before the game, and not the Millwall negative vibes, we never do. It didn't feel right, and I suspected we could be in for a tough evening. And then before the bloody kickoff, the commentator turns around and gives us one of Stato's, sadly, excellent stats that we have never won a home game at this level, playoff. In fact, I don't think Jeff told me earlier, I don't think we've won a game at this level in a playoff. So that's not a great stat. Now, on the good side, we used to have a stat of never winning any playoff game, didn't we? And we've turned that around and done it. So, but when I heard that, I just thought, oh shit, and Hull had a very solid record. The manager made a bold decision, I don't know if you know, but he went 3 at the back against Middlesbrough away, where they got a good result, and there was another good result they got where they did it. So interesting that he only did it at certain games, but it definitely worked for him. Don't think he scored Alex, as people are suggesting, because after the 15 minutes that they hammered us, let's be honest, and quelled the initial threat, we actually got in the game and were the better side significantly. There was a graph on the screen that showed how it had ebbed and flowed the game, and we didn't then capitalise on that. But for me, the old chickens came home to roost of the season, really, where, think back, how many games, and particularly home games, have we never looked like scoring in a million years? And that was last night all over, and it just fizzled out. And as the game went on, it got worse, didn't it? They were good, we were terrible. And it's one of them, innit? Are you grudging the opposition pat on the back? No, I think we've all said they deserved it and the manager deserved credit. But when you've also got your main players not turning up, and I mean basics, passing, movement, trapping a ball, making mistakes, fuck me, there's only going to be one outcome. And sadly, those 7 home defeats in the season turned into a sad 8th last night. So gutting, but I hope we come on to what overall a great season it's been. And listen, deep down, no shame in one losing in a playoff, frustrating, but no shame losing to a decent Hull side. And Angelo, you said in the away game, when their team sheet came up, they've got a bloody decent team there. And I think they proved it last night. Not so much at home, but they proved it last night. So, but gutting, absolutely gutting. I felt for us, the fans, but also Alex particularly, and the players most definitely, and James.
I was saying to you guys off air, weren't I? I mean, I kind of, in some ways, I sort of talked myself out of having any kind of hope or belief that we're actually going to get through and get to the final. I've been supporting Mill such a long time. I'm kind of used to it now a little bit. And as much as you try and get yourself excited and think positive and all the rest of it, I just felt, you know what? I can see it's not going to happen. Hull got a very good away record, a bit like us, really. They're very, very similar to us. Direct. They play very well away from home. They're a very good counter-attacking team. They match us quite well. The fact we couldn't get a result at their ground, you just knew they're going to get a result on our ground. Yeah, we've lost 7 games at home. That's our 8th game now at home this season. And we haven't got the best home records, have we? And the fact they set up with 5 at the back, they doubled up on Coburn, they doubled up on Aziz, they took away our biggest threats straight away and nullified us. And it's only going to be a matter of time, wasn't it? They're going to get their chance, they're going to score, and it happened, you know. And we will talk about that in a second. I want to ask Andrew about that. Before we do, Andrew, Stato, I want to ask you, regards to stats, because that's your name. What did you make of the stats, and did that represent the game in your eyes? I mean, 66 possession for Millwall, 34% for Hull. Okay, 7 shots for us, 3 on target. Apparently, I don't remember where the third one come from. I saw one from Aziz, I think it was. There was 13 shots from them, 6 on target. A lot of it, I think, was from corners as well. So we might have had 1 or 2 scuff corners. I think Ballo might have had a chance that there was bodies in the box. He couldn't.
Off the line, mate.
Yeah, exactly. So, Stato, where do you see that the stats and the game, the way the game played out? Who clearly got the better of the 2 managers there?
Well, firstly, the first stat I actually want to come to, because people keep talking about our home record, and we've all mentioned it and touched on it there, and we haven't been that good at home, 7 defeats, but we actually are 6th in the division in terms of our home record. So we were in the top 6, right, which I don't think many people would think that. I think people would assume that we might be a little bit lower because we're ranked number 1 away from home. That kind of balances out the 2. So we were in the top 6.
Sorry to interrupt you. Could that be that we've lost, or we've probably drawn few? We either won or kind of lost almost. Like, I don't know whether that works that way. I've
got it. So I have, yeah. At home, we've won 13, drawn 3, lost 7.
Wow.
So it is a straight up. We usually win or lose. We don't draw many games at home, which is obviously it's not a bad thing, but you'd obviously want less losses than we had. Obviously away from home, we only got beat 4 times, which is why obviously we are where we are in the league. Going back to the stats of last night, in terms of the possession, I believe you said it was in the 60s, which I think it was 65, was it, or 66?
66.3 or something, yeah.
Which was very, very similar to the first leg. We had more of the possession away from home, and we come away from Hull thinking we were the better team and we should have won the game. So it's not always about possession, it's about what you do with the ball. Hull I think they are 23rd in the league in terms of XG. So They are efficient. They don't create loads of chances. They don't have loads on target, but when they do create chances, they tend to score them. And that's exactly, I mean, obviously they had a few last night that, it could have been a few in the second half, let's be honest. But it just, the game, in terms of tactics, as the boys have said, the whole manager was spot on, nullified our biggest threat in Aziz, nullified the player that caused them the most problems on Friday in Coburn, and said to Alex Neil and Mill, what you got?
Which he himself picked up on his press conference, didn't he? He talked about Coburn bullying their defenders and what played part. So he clearly done his homework there. Thought, right, we're going to put that right straight away.
Absolutely, and that's what you do at this level. That's what you do when you want to be promoted. You learn, and you learn quickly. I think Alex Neil, I put it on Twitter last night, or X, whatever you want to call it now. He's 100% the right fit for this football club. We are supposedly in a two or the second year of the 5-year plan that Mark Fairbrother quoted, and obviously we're a little bit ahead of schedule, perhaps for this season. But unfortunately, he panicked last night. The whole manager was calm. He knew what he was doing. He knew what he wanted from his team, and they delivered exactly what he asked of them. They nullified the threat. They got on the counter. They had a couple of chances in the first half. We were nervy, and McBurney was throwing himself around, winning headers. He got the performance from his team, and Alex Neil didn't. And when Alex Neil didn't get it, it was right. I'm going to make changes. I actually looked back.
Sorry, Stato. I'm not having any panicked, to be fair.
I think he did. I think he did, Steve.
You know what? I'm slightly in agreement with Stato in the point that I think he can see where this game was going. I think he saw that Coburn was isolated. He saw that we weren't posing an attacking threat. So the first thing he did was, if I'm not mistaken, I think he put Ivanovic on first, didn't he?
Yeah.
And
can I just say, sorry, Joe, just before you say what you're going to say, because I've gone back and I did this because apparently I just like putting myself through misery on the last few shows of live shows where we'd lost or not won the game, and all four of us and other panelists had been complaining that Alex Neil does not make changes early. He waits and waits and waits. And last night we come out in the second half, the rocket that he gave him clearly didn't work. And he looked at his bench and went, "Oh, I've got to get Ivanovic on. I've got to put him on." Ivanovic was on within 5 minutes. Alex Neil doesn't make changes after 15 minutes. It didn't work. It wasn't working, and he decided to gamble and go for it. Don't blame him.
But I'm not saying
panic.
Yeah, but look, I know we can get some eyes on words. It's not a panic. It was a look. He rolled the dice. He went for the win and thought, "What can I do to change it?" And I admire him for that. To be fair, I don't think it was the right call. But I admire him for going for it at the time. We'll come on to the really big mistake he made. But Stato, you're 100% right. I've been on it. I'm glad you realise. That's his nemesis for me. It doesn't make sense.
I think you're both right at Disco. I think the point that Stato made is right, that he did react, and he reacted quite early. It wasn't due for panic. I think he was trying to be proactive. Yeah. I think he see how the game was going. He didn't want to waste any more time. He had to change something in order to create something. And he felt he was trying to make a positive change, weren't he? And it didn't quite, work out. It backfired for us. Angelo, I want to come to yourself, mate. And I know you've probably done this already with your Angelo's analysis, but can you just talk us through those two goals and where you picked up on the major, I guess, the problems that we presented that cost us those two goals?
Well, the first one is just one player's fault, isn't it? It's Alfie Doughty. It's all over social media. It's everywhere, isn't it? The guy's getting absolute pelters.
Where did he go wrong, Angelo?
Well, I think you disagreed with me, right? Well, the thing I put in our WhatsApp group, but when you freeze that frame, he is standing almost directly in the middle of the goal, it's where he shouldn't be. He's not centre half. And on his left-hand side, there is acres and acres of green grass, and then right on the side is Balumi. So I just think his starting position was completely wrong. Obviously, when Balumi then comes in, he doesn't shepherd him down the outside, and Balumi comes in, and it's a brilliant finish. So obviously that's all it's all down to Alfie Doughty, except it's also down to Alex Neil, because I would never in a million years took off Sturge. Never in a million years. He was our only player that was above 7 out of 10. And if you want to bring Alfie Doughty on, if you want to go for it, if you want to go for the goals or gamble, panic, whatever you want to say, if you want to make a progressive change, take Ballo off, put Doughty in Ballo's position, mate. Doughty is not a very good defender from what I've seen in his Millwall career. Sturge was playing excellent, and he should have stayed on the pitch. Sturge should have stayed on the pitch, making us more solid. And Doughty, if he wants to bring Doughty on, they're swapping for Ballo, mate, So the mistake for the first goal is Alex Neil and Alfie Doughty. That's my opinion, Second goal, mate, it's all down to Jake Cooper. I don't know what Jake Cooper is doing. This skinny little 8-stone winger actually pushes Cooper, like 16-stone Cooper, whatever he is, pushes him out of the way, and then that's it. It's game over. And obviously, Patterson should do better, but it is unlucky because it takes a deflection off Lenny. The ball doesn't really change direction, but that puts Pato off, I think, But you should say.
What? I've seen a lot of people online and talking on WhatsApp groups and where else it, and there's people picking blames in different areas. I hear the argument, people are picking a blame on Jake Cooper because, what's he doing in that situation? Why does he lose it in that area? But then there's an argument to say, well, he's high up the pitch, like he's at a halfway line, or even on their half, and therefore there's a long series of play before the ball gets delivered into the box. There's a mistake there, I guess, from from Lenny with a deflection. Yeah, Patson makes a mistake by doesn't quite get a hand on it. He should do better in goal. So you could argue that they're all to blame. But where the blame lies, is it a Patterson error? Is it Jake Cooper error? Because you like to think there's a lot.
Because if Jake Cooper doesn't make that error, the ball doesn't go down to where Patterson is. It's a Jake Cooper 100% error, mate. Yeah.
And also,
the first goal, I'd say it's more Alex Neil's error than than Alfie Doughty.
Although Alex Neil did come out there, didn't he, Angelo, afterwards, and he spoke about how they spoke about in training about how they got inverted wingers, you know, and the importance of showing them on the outside and not letting them cut in. And to your point, Angelo, you picked up on.
You shouldn't have took Sturge off, mate. You shouldn't have took Sturge off.
I agree.
He was having a great game.
Yeah. I don't want to be wise after the event again, genuinely, but I was literally starting to text when he brought Doughty on that was a dangerous substitution with Bellumi, who looked dangerous, but Sturge had him in his pocket. Sturge was playing brilliantly, as you say, Angelo. I'm really pleased with Sturge because he's had that, isn't he, all season, a couple of good games and then a bad game, but he's been really consistent the last 4 or 5 games, and good on him. He's looking the real deal now, which I'm pleased about. So to take him off, and I thought, fuck me, Doughty's not a good defender against this Bellumi, who is dangerous, but over the 2 legs, we'd had him in our pocket until that moment. So it was a massive mistake. Massive.
Well, Disco, right? The whole manager had to take Bellumi off, mate, the first game because he couldn't cope.
Couldn't do anything.
And he didn't start him today on the back of that first performance, which says a lot, doesn't it?
But that also, that they didn't start him because they didn't really start with wingers, did they? They went 2 up front, right? They changed the shape. That is a slight different thing. What I would say about the second goal is if you're Jake Cooper and you've got Alfie Doughty on the pitch, you've got, I think at this time we'd moved Tristan Crammer to right back in that position to try and get a bit more creativity, which I do want to come back to. So Leonard was the last man. Cooper knows where he is on the pitch. If he loses that ball, they are 3-on-1, and they're 3-on-1 because Leonard is the only person back because Crammer and Doughty have committed themselves because we need a goal. The only thing that Cooper didn't need to do was what he did. He kept the ball in play. Just knock it out. I fully understand in today's game, it's all about territory. You don't want to give the ball away. You don't want to cheap recycles, blah, blah, blah. There's so many different analogies for it. But game situation dictates that if we lose the ball, they have a clear run on goal. And I think there's a comment that the guy actually pulls it back for, I think it's for McBurney, and he actually misses McBurney, and it works out perfectly for them. But they've earned the right to put themselves 3-on-1. It was always going to end in a goal if it landed by a whole player's foot.
Did anyone have a chance to pull them down, sort of coming through the middle? Was somebody running?
Really.
I've not. No. I can't watch it back.
We were quite open, weren't we? At that point?
I seem to remember thinking, just take him down. That must have been another chance.
Leonard was. You could tell Leonard was 50-50 of trying to either go across to try and stop the ball or stand with McBurney to stop the square. And there was nothing. He just didn't have anywhere to go.
Land, really a bit,
and Crammer had obviously bombed well far forward. He was never going to get back to cover. I just want to say, I think Angelo said that Zach Sturge was the only player that come out with a 7 out of 10. I think Derek Mazusaku was Millwall's best player over the 2 legs. In my opinion, I don't know what other people think. I don't know what you guys might say on that.
We're definitely going to talk about the players. I want to discuss the players that played well, the ones that probably didn't play so great. Disco, I was going to come to you. We did touch on it very, very briefly, but I want you to kind of end this one for us with regards to that substitution. Obviously, that really changed the game, didn't it? And I want to get your thoughts on that because, you know, as Stato said, people are very quick to sort of moan at Alex Neil for not making early substitutions, and he obviously saw something there, didn't he? And he wanted to sort of react to it. Hindsight is a wonderful thing, but the fact he brings on Doughty for Sturge, Bannan for Denor, you know, where are the positives, where are the negatives? We'll see where the negatives were, but what do you make of that substitution, and obviously how that changed the game in your eyes?
Well, look, repeat what I said before. The Bannan I got. Doughty, I just couldn't get that because of the danger of Bellumi. But like Stato says, I certainly have been on here most weeks when just bemoaning the fact that Alex hasn't made substitutions early enough and proactive substitutions. And in a way, I reiterate, they always worry about what might happen negatively rather than, well, hang on, if I put a sub on, will it have a positive impact? And so he wasn't thinking, fuck, if I put him on, Ballooney's going to rip him one. He was thinking, as he said, look, he justified it at the end. He said, I brought him on with Bannan to add a bit of quality, which is what we needed. I just felt he didn't need to do both. I would have just put Bannan at that stage, give Sturge another at least 10, 15 minutes, if not the full game. And as people have said, if you want to really bring Doughty on, stick him, a straight replacement for Ballo. But look, probably we're going into another area now. Probably the real issue here is the natural replacement for Ballo is Watson. But Watson just hasn't been at the races, So, if he had brought him on, you think, what's he doing? But then again, that should really have been his sort of moment and his game to really shine. But he's not shown us enough, has he, since he's joined in January? Been a really poor addition. So, look, wrong decision. But in fairness to Alex, it was definitely not panicking. He was being proactive and trying to win the game, and it was just too much, and especially too much too soon. A couple in the chat have said it all got a bit chaotic. It did, because it was all a bit suddenly, whoa, the goals happened and then we were all over the shop. So yeah, frustrating, really, really frustrating, because it could have been it was unforced errors, really, wasn't it? That's the frustration.
Yeah, obviously we'll talk about the disappointments and the players that we felt that have been below par, not just in the last two legs, but perhaps in the last half of the season. But let's start with a bit of positives. Was there any sort of standout performers you felt over the last two legs? Obviously, Stato, you mentioned Del Boy. Do you want to say a bit on Del Boy and why you mentioned his name?
Yeah, I think take away the level of performance. If you'd have said that we had a fit Billy Mitchell available for the playoffs, and he wouldn't be playing, and a 21-year-old kid from the French second division that's only just got himself back in the team due to injuries, by the way, that can't really speak that much English, and I know that they're only small, that doesn't impact his ability to play football, I'm well aware of that, but you add all of those things, in the biggest games, I don't know the team that he come from in France, I don't know what their attendances are or how high they've ever played, but he come into the biggest games in club football in this country, excluding the Premier League. It's a £200 million competition, the playoffs, if you win them, and to put in the level of performance that he did at Hull and also yesterday was outstanding. He I think he ran his heart out in both games. He gave us everything that we would want from a Millwall midfielder. From my perspective, I've been crying out for a physical midfielder that doesn't shirk the tackles, that wants to drive us forward. That some of the tackles, I mean, Disco, your mate Jeff was waxing lyrical about some of the tackles that he made at Hull. He was absolutely superb, and rightly so. And I just think it's a shame what's happened, and it's a shame that there's only a couple that can come out and say that they played well. But that kid, and we talk about the leadership, the fact that someone spotted him and saw the potential that we've got in him, there is real value in Derek. And the fans, he might be a little bit of a cult here, he might even be the new Jimmy Abdu, but I can, in terms of his, the popularity of a foreign player coming into Millwall's midfield, but I can assure you, as much as we love Jimmy, Derek can play. He really can play.
Oh, did you see his reaction, Del Boy's reaction, when the second goal crept in? His reaction was
tears, weren't he?
And then any other player, mate, yeah.
I think he actually was crying at full time. I think if you see him,
was.
He had tears in his eyes, didn't he? Yeah.
When, as I say, at the end of the game, the players clapped, and Derek was the last player to leave. He went all the way round to everybody that stayed, and he head slumped and trying to look up and clap the supporters. And look, we all might expect miracles sometimes from our players, and some of them might have let us down. But he come in, and lots of people, myself included, it was a bold call by Alex Neil, and he has shown, and I know we might come on to Billy and his contract situation later on in the show, but Derek has shown that he is here to stay and he is ready to step up and be our starting centre mid next season. He was absolutely phenomenal.
And Joe, you probably would have seen this, right? Because it happened just underneath where you sit, mate. Did you see when Derek Delboy tried to control that ball and he miscontrolled it and went out for a throw-in and he went mad? Did you see that bit, mate?
His reaction, yeah.
It just shows you that he's expecting perfection already. Do you know what I mean? He's always, like Alex Neil has said, he's such an intelligent footballer for a bloke that doesn't really speak the lingo, yeah?
And a very fit lad. Athletically, he's got all the attributes. Did you see that the time when I think the ball went out and he saved from going from a corner and he sprinted and he put his foot on the ball, caught it right on the line, didn't he?
And then there was that clip that Millwall Twitter put out where he just brushes Ollie McBurney aside in the first leg. This guy, the sky is the limit, And it's
just turned 21 as well. Just getting better, isn't he?
Surely build a team around him next year. You know, it's one of them, isn't it?
Yeah. 100%.
Angelo, are there any honourable mentions over the last two legs? Any players you felt did perform well and deserves a mention? What do you make of Negley? Because again, I'm hearing a little bit of criticism again on Negley, and I think it's a little bit unfair. Yes, he didn't score yesterday. Yes, he didn't create loads of chances, but my God, he put a shift in. And in the 90th minute, he's still sprinting back with their wingers tracking back, stopping them from scoring a third. And that was like on the 92nd minute, you know.
He is so close to being an unbelievable player, but he just does some silly things that lets him down, you know. Like there was like a couple of crosses that he put out for corners. There was a stupid shot he took. He's got it. Do you know what it is? It's almost like he's like a toy car. We need to like screw up all the screws. They're a bit loose. We need to tighten them all up and get the wheels steady. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
I love the fact that Lenny is a vintage car disco in the garage, and then poor Negley is a small little
brilliant.
Small little toy car with his screws being loose in that. You know,
he's definitely a second-hand car dealership, isn't he, Angelo?
Poor Negley. Yeah, cheers, Angelo. Disco, any players you want to give honourable mention to?
I think, look, this might be a bit controversial, but I think over the two legs, I actually thought Lenny played really well defensively, particularly, and Nick should or could have had a goal. Yeah, I know he never gets forward, Joe, although he nearly scored, if you noticed, at Hull by getting forward. But no, look, he doesn't give us what Crammer does at right back. But listen, both games, Liam Miller, a very difficult, tricky winger, didn't get a bloody kick against Lenny. He shut him out both games, 100%. Yeah. So don't underestimate that. The instructions would have been, don't let him cut back in. He stopped him from doing that. So I think Lenny gets a decent honourable mention. And sadly, I feel that'll be the last we see of him. But
So his walk at the end of the game last night, it looked like it was he had his head down and he was walking really slow and he was like trying to take it all in. And I felt that it was goodbye as well. I did.
And look, without getting ahead, I think that's right, you know. But
was that Femi, you say?
No. Lenny.
Oh, Lenny, yeah. Someone mentioned that when Femi was going around, it's like almost he was saying goodbye. Like he waved a little bit to the fans.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's an obvious one. I think every Millwall fan, we all knew it, that if we didn't get promoted, that we wouldn't be seeing Femi Aziz again in a Millwall shirt. And I think
I'm sure Jimmy and Gallen and whatever, they said to when Ipswich come in for him, they said no, because you could go up with us. If you don't go up with us, then you can go. I'm pretty sure that's the conversation there.
I think that's one of the directions of the club that we've been taking in. I think the likes of Zian Fleming, slightly different. I know that there was, it wasn't Gallen in at that time, I don't think, or he'd only just joined. Essay, another one. Jaffet, another one. I think they were, the club have been honest with their players and said, look, we don't want to sell you at the time, whatever time it was. Obviously, with Jaff, the money was too good to turn down. And I think Angelo's spot on. Yeah, I think there's a spot on. I think that they've gone, look, stick with us, give us the chance. And at January, you know, we were still on track for the top 6. Okay, we might not have been on track for the top 2 at that time, and our form dictated that we had a shot of it. But I think Angelo's spot on. I think they've said to him, look, offers are going to come in, providing it's not a Mickey Mouse offer. If we hit a certain figure, Femi will have the blessing of the club to leave.
And Joe, I thought it was a good job because like Sky just like promote him every single game, didn't they? They give him man of the match, man of the match. They're doing that for us, really. So
well, just sorry on honourable mentions. Just want because there's a couple of players I want to get out there because it wasn't all dread. And again, this will be a bit controversial. I thought Femi was okay over the 2 legs. Last 45 minutes, dreadful. Didn't get a kick, as we know. But don't underestimate, he got some great balls in the box, especially yesterday, first half, that we didn't capitalise on.
Well, they're great balls, though. I don't know.
Yeah, the crossing for Ballo was a fucking cracker, Joe, you know. And if he'd have really gone for it, Ballo, it's top quality. He can't put a corner in for love nor money. Why he takes them, God only knows. So that's frustrating.
Second half, we just wasn't passing the ball to him, mate.
No, that's what I'm saying. We just went to pieces.
We did.
But that's been indicative of the season. We've done that so many times, especially at home. So I thought he did all right. Going back, Kramer over the 2. I think he's getting better at centre half, in fairness to him. Still a little erratic at times, but I think he did listen, McBurney is not an easy bloody player to play
against. McBurney did target Kramer as well. You noticed that he completely moved away from Jake Cooper, and all night he was just on Kramer, and Kramer dealt with him. I think he won majority of headers as well, didn't he? And won the battle. Sticking with Kramer, guys.
Loads of headers last night, mate. Loads.
Sticking with Kramer, guys. Before the games, there was talk and mention and rumours that Everton are very interested in signing him. And of course, the fact that we're no longer in the playoffs and out of it now, I think they're kind of pushing the accelerator down. There is an article which I saw. I'm going to share on the screen here, where this is the Goodison News, and again, this is done. This came out this morning. So Everton get Tristan Kramer transfer boost after Mill playoff heartbreak. So again, they are looking to kind of push the accelerate down this one a little bit, and it would be surprised if, and there's some stats there for him as well. So it's pretty impressive.
How much, Joe?
No mention about money at the moment. I think David Moyes is keen on him as a right back. I think they looked at sort of Seamus Coleman as his contract's expiring. Obviously 24 years of age as well. You know, what did you make of that, Angelo? I mean, can you see that happening? I mean, he might be suited to Everton, their style. They're very, very similar to Millwall, though they're a Premiership club, aren't they? But you know, they seem to be that kind of way, and I think you can see Kramer sort of settling quite well there, and that kind of robust, you know, backs against the wall, defends, get forwards type of football, you know?
I personally think he's not a good central defender. I think he's an outstanding right back. But, you know, honestly, I noticed it yesterday. He missed so many headers, mate, honestly. I love him. I don't want to lose him.
Oh, you said he missed a load of headers. I thought you said he got a load of headers.
He missed loads of headers. I saw him miss 3 headers yesterday.
He probably won about 20, though, to be fair.
I don't think he did, Joe.
I thought he battled well.
From where I saw him, I thought he won quite a bit, yeah.
Well, I'll
tell you why, Andrew, because I was expecting the way that McGurvey was on him, I thought he would lose quite a lot of headers, but he actually won. I was quite surprised that he actually won the majority of the battle with McGurvey, yeah.
Yeah, maybe I have to watch.
Have you got wing mirrors on your car, Angelo, so you can see out?
I just think he's a really, really, really good player, Tristan Kramer. I'm not sure he's Premiership class, though. I'm not sure.
I think as a right back, I said it all season. I think he's a very good centre back, but he's an excellent right back.
Agreed.
And he just seems to want to play centre backs. He wants to be known as a centre back. He wants to play as a centre back. And I tell you what, if he played a centre back all season, he wouldn't be up there for Player of the Year. No. The only reason why he's up there for Player of the Year and challenging and didn't get it because of Jake Cooper was because he was playing right back and how influential he was. You know, 9 goal contributions, this season, and he probably helped Aziz. When he's on that right side, Aziz is a better player for it. You see it the last 2 or 3 games when Leonard's there, Aziz ain't the same player. because he hasn't got that player running, doing the overlaps and making defenders think about Kramer and leaving Aziz on his own, you know?
So, sorry, initially in my head with this Everton rumour, I like you, much as I thought over the 2 games, he impressed me more at centre-half than I would have said previously, different to you, Angelo. But this Everton rumour, I'm like, I don't see him as an Everton centre-half. Stupidly, somebody's put in the chat, and you've just said there, right, they need a right-back. And I think, oh, yeah, I could see that. Could see him at a right-back at Everton, you know, big, tall, strong, powerful, quick down the wing. Yeah, I could see.
I agree with John, and I'm sure Angelo will agree with me as well. I see Taylor as a much better centre back than Kramer.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, and I think if we had Kramer playing Kramer playing right back and Taylor playing centre back, it'd be a completely different result yesterday.
How unlucky was we? How unlucky was Millwall that Taylor got injured, mate?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like Taylor with Cooper, Kramer right back, we would have done so much better, mate. No, Lenny, but we would have just done
very true. Guys, I've been holding this message here for a long time. So Jesper messaged earlier to the panel. Do you think Jimmy will do this 5-year project? And if we haven't reached the Premier League, will he be tempted to sell the club?
No.
I'm not sure.
He's going to get Millwall to the Premier League for his dad, 100%, mate. And he won't stop until he does it.
I hope so. Go on,
I'm not sure. There was rumours, wasn't there, that he had investors over at the game at one of our home games a couple of weeks ago. I think it was QPR, of investors from America, and I think he is definitely keen on, as Angelo said, doing it for his dad, and I think he's really bought into what. He's That's not how his dad was, but I think he's buying into how his dad was. I think there is the soft spot is growing, if you will, like what his dad, the same thing with his dad. The only thing I would be concerned about is if we don't do it within a 5-year, sort of window, just for argument's sake, we sell Aziz and Kramer and we make £30 million. I don't know what it's going to be, but say we make £30 million in those sales, and then we reinvest, and then the next season we sell and then make more money, because that's what they want. They want the Brentford model, don't they? They want to keep buying in cheaper, Negley make money, Del Boy make money, and go from there. If we keep doing that and get to a point where the club is making quite a lot of money, great. I think he stays. If the plan for whatever reason doesn't work and we don't continue to improve, that's when there might be a slight, after the 5 years, there might be a slight wobble. But you can't tell what the future will hold. We could get promoted next year and it won't matter. We could fail next year and something could happen off the pitch. You don't know. But I think he's here for the 5 years at least.
Stato, right? I've actually had the pleasure of speaking to him a couple of times, right? And I'll tell you one thing I've noticed, mate. He's got the bug. He's invested now. Like, I think when he first took over, I wasn't sure whether this was his cup of tea. But having spoken to him a couple of times, he fucking loves it, mate. Do you know what I mean? He loves it, and he's going to do it, mate. I've got so much faith in that guy, honestly, and I genuinely think he'll do it.
I've got faith. I've got faith, and I listen. I would never ever knock Jimmy or James Berylson. That family have done absolute miracles for this football club, and we should be very proud that we've got owners that are as invested as we are. However, he is also a businessman, and I have the concern that if the plan after 5 years doesn't work, what's next? Do we start the 5 year again? Do we carry on going?
What do you make of that, Stato? What do you make of Mark Murphy's comment there?
Look, I don't know. Listen, investors can be for a number of things. It could be to any money that's coming into the football club is good for us. It might make our transfer kitty a little bit higher. It might mean development of the ground. It might mean the training ground. It might make us more attractive for people to join us. I think I don't have an issue with people coming in and investing in the club as long as they're doing it for the right reasons. And Jimmy maybe feels that whilst he is, as Angelo said, he's got the bug and he absolutely loves it. He is also looking for that little bit of help to maybe push us to the next level to keep pumping into the first team or whatever. But who knows? who knows? The development is huge, isn't it? Think about how much money real estate is in London and that close to London Bridge. It could be a goldmine for someone.
Disco. Just changing the subject slightly. There is an elephant in the room, a very, very small Scottish elephant. Guys, you probably know what I'm talking about here. If you've been on social media last night and today, and look, I mean, it just goes to show this has even hit Talk Sport. It's hit the Sun newspaper, and I'll show you what I mean here, guys. This is Talk Sport. So Millwall star's wife appears to slam boss Alex Neil moments after championship playoff exit. Barry Bannan's wife has seemingly taken a swipe at Millwall boss on Alex Neil's social media. The Scottish midfielder and Alfie Doughty were brought on moments before Hull took the lead against Millwall in the second leg of the championship playoff semi-final on Tuesday. And it just goes on to sort of say about what she says. So his wife Chloe replied on X to someone's comment, "It's always Barry's fault. A good manager would help." And then I think they went on to sort of saying about, it's a holiday over. And to that she responded with, I think she said something along the lines of hopefully soon, I think she said. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the fingers crossed.
Yeah.
The fingers crossed emoji, wasn't it? That's right. Yeah. And I think even the, I don't know if you can see it, where are we? On the Sun newspaper mentioned it as well. So the Sun also.
I thought you were going to say she's got her boobs out. Do they still do that in the Sun?
Do they stop that?
No, they still do. There you go. See, he made the Sun newspaper as well. So you got a good manager would help. Mill star wife rages at Alex Neil after shock playoff loss to Hull. What do you make of that, Disco? I mean, obviously, we're not trying to throw anyone under the bus here, but it seems like that is her Twitter account. Apparently, she's deleted or taken down her Twitter account now, so that's no longer on there. But obviously, people taking screenshots, and it's all over social media. What do you make of that?
Look, first and foremost, it's totally embarrassing, isn't it, from her point of view? Not that she's probably bothered, but I mean, what a stupid woman to, make comments like that. And, you don't know what Barry's like, whether he's hugely embarrassed by it as well. The fact she's taken it all down, the messages that is, it tells you everything about it. And I believe she's got a bit of previous. A couple of people have put in the chat there, that she's got previous for it, is what I've heard. So, look, she's probably a bit of an outspoken wag. Do they still call them wags these days?
I think so.
Look, bloody embarrassing. And look, clearly, let's be honest, it does. I thought Bannan would get a bit more game time. I think he could have had a bit more game time here at Millwall. Alex, for his own reasons, has not quite fancied him or felt he's the right fit for games. Didn't impress last night at all, did he? In fact, another one who had a shocker for the first sort of 10 minutes he was on. Certainly nearly gave a second goal away, didn't he? So, look, embarrassing. I really wouldn't want to give it any airtime. The media love it, don't they? Because it's a great story for them, and that's why they're all over it, I guess.
I mean, my take on it is, and I don't know the ins and outs of it, of course I don't, but I get the impression or the vibe that, Barry Bannan is part of the boys. I think he's got he's a good guy. He's very likable amongst the squad and the change room. They all seem to like him. I don't think it's in his nature to come out and cause problems or try and push for a move. All I can imagine is that he must have a very, very fiery wife, I presume. He's probably coming home from work, not getting the game, not getting many minutes. He probably pours his heart out to her because he's upset. Of course, he's been playing 90 minutes for Sheffield Wednesday before joining us. She probably hears it. She probably loves it in Sheffield. Got her friends and family up there as well. Sick and tired of hearing him moan about not playing. And then she's probably going, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to put it on Twitter. And then, of course, he's probably found out of it. He's gone round. He's gone, no, what are you doing? Take that down now. Is that sound Scottish? I don't know. And,
was that Del Boy?
And I reckon she's gone, oh, and she's gone, right, delete the account, delete it, take it off. Because that's what's happened. You wouldn't do that if you stand by what you're saying, So I don't blame Barry Bannan. But my question to you, Stato, is with what's gone on, And we kind of got an idea what Alex Neil's like. He's a bit of a no-nonsense, and he's a very Irish Scotsman as well. Can you see Barry Bannan realistically being part of Alex Neil's plans next season?
No. No, to be honest. No, I think the fact that Sheffield Wednesday now seemingly have sorted themselves out a little bit off the field, I think that makes a huge deal of difference. I think he'd be more willing to go back there and try and help them get back into the Championship. And I think the move is an easy one for the clubs to sort out. A nominal fee. Mill will get him off the wage bill relatively quickly. They'll get paid 50 grand, 100 grand, whatever, I don't know, 200 grand to get it signed, sealed and delivered, and he'd get back to Sheffield, and Mrs. Bannan will be happy. I think it's absolutely ridiculous in this day and age, especially after a defeat so damning. Like, you do it, there's no good time to do it, but it was so damning and so bad last night that it's just the wrong possible time. I actually think, I'll be honest with you, I actually quite like Barry Bannan. I think he's a really good footballer, but I just want him gone. And I don't mean it anything against Barry, but that's all everyone talks about. Barry Bannan. Why did we bring him in? Is he good? Is he this? Oh, can he do this? Has he got the legs?
Isn't it? He seems like when he comes off the bench, everyone's clapping. Oh, Barry Bannan.
It's so over the top. We've had so many chats about, and look, tonight's not the right night to be talking about our transfer window, but I think we can all agree that the January transfer window for the club wasn't particularly good. And that's something to look at a later date. But I think he was a good signing, and I think he was someone that did add what we were talking about, some experience, some leadership. Yeah. But for whatever reason, he wasn't getting starts. He wasn't.
Can I also add to that? And the key thing for me is when we signed him was creativity. Yeah. I don't think we had a midfielder who could unlock a pass or try and create something in those deep lines. How many times we said we play against shit teams and we tried to break down? We got no one in midfield to do it. And I just felt bringing Bannan in, and I think he proved it against who was it in the game where Oxford. There you go. When he ran the show in midfield, and that's where I think he was designed to come in to play those sort of games, And unfortunately, it just wasn't consistent enough, and he didn't get enough game time, did he, to kind of show what he can do?
No, and I think it was that people will dissect it. People say he's past it, he's not good enough. I think he was a good Championship player. He brought experience. For whatever reason, it hasn't quite worked out. I think his wife has made the decision that they're going back to Sheffield anyway, so sod anyone else. And that's that. And it'll be one of those players that it was an experiment that people will say didn't work. But I don't think it didn't work because of Barry Bannan necessarily, and not wanting to be here or the surroundings of Sheffield Wednesday. I just think that he joined a team that we didn't really utilise him, and perhaps didn't really know where to play him. I think that might have had to, because he come in the first couple of games he was playing in the 10, and everyone's thinking, why? He's played 90 minutes consistently for Sheffield Wednesday in the number 6, and all of a sudden we're putting him off of the striker. So look, good luck to him. He's going to go back to Sheffield. I think it's the most obvious transfer of the summer. Get him off the wage bill, put the money to use elsewhere, and thank you very much, Barry. And that's that.
Cheers, that's Angelo, coming to yourself next. Before I do, guys, in the chat, put number 1 in the chat if you think Barry Bannan stays next season. Put a 2 in the chat if you think he leaves or we get rid of him. Angelo, what do you make of the situation there with Bannan? And obviously he's got 1 year left on his contract. Can you see him being here next year, or do you see it's been a bit of a distraction? Can you see the logic of why we brought him in the first place and the reasons behind it, and how could have add value?
Yeah, I can see why we bought him, but it just hasn't worked out, has it, mate? It just hasn't worked out. Alex Neil didn't fancy him. A lot of people say it wasn't Alex Neil signing; it was the club signing. His wife is obviously completely embarrassed, the poor guy. You can't really have a go at Barry for this, but it's just embarrassing. Do you know what I mean? Like when all his teammates are going to see it as well, it's just embarrassing, mate. But yeah,
I mean, to come out and say, the words "a good manager" would help. Yeah, like what's she saying? Do you know what I mean? Like, well, because her old man is not getting picked to play against everyone else, that makes him a bad manager, is it?
He was
embarrassing. As you said, it's embarrassing.
Sheffield Wednesday, he was the main man, isn't it? At Mill, he's not the main man. But I think I'm with Stato. I think let's get a couple of quid for him and send him back up north, mate. Yeah. You know, I mean, what is he? How old is he? 38, was he?
36.
Yeah, just get rid of him, mate. Let's get rid of him.
Anything more you want to add to that, Disco?
Only, I think it was John said a bit harsh of me to say he didn't play well. He got shut down by what do you call it? But what I meant by that was he didn't make the impression that I think Alex put him on to do, which, all right, he got shut out of the game, but that's why he was on there, was to try and open it up. But do you not remember the pass that he just gave straight to their striker where they nearly went through and scored? That was so un-Barry Bannan-like, and yet, you know, that could have cost us. But look, he didn't cost us the game. I'm like a lot of what people are saying. I think the experiment hasn't worked and he should go. But I do rate him highly as a player, and I do think we could have got more out of him had he been here. I think we could have took a few more risks playing him in the middle where he would have controlled the game and give us that little bit of a creativity, and especially in the final third where we've really lacked. That has been a real nemesis for us. So a tricky one. It's slightly different to you though, Joe, as what you're saying. Maybe he was going home and moaning about not playing. I wonder whether she's that type of wife who, you're not playing. Why aren't you playing? You're the great Barry Bannan. You should be first name on the sheet. Who knows? We're surmising, but it was worth hearing your impression, that's for sure.
Thanks a lot. I usually do, better impression than that, actually. And also, I know sometimes you can't, I'm just my observation, when the last game of the season, all the families there, all the wives, all the rest of it, Barry Bannan's missus was there, and I'm sure she's a lovely sort of person, but I just remember her kids were running around and like she's going mad, she's shouting at them, she's dragging one kid off the floor, and I thought, you know what, she's got no decorum whatsoever there. Like all the others have been very professional, very kind of graceful and articulate, wait for the players to come out. She was just like, didn't give a fuck. Like she was literally just like running around, grabbing the kids, picking them up the floor, telling them off,
Careful, Joe. She'll be commenting on here soon.
Yeah, I know. I just thought
if we had a good host, Barry Bannan would be getting 10 out of 10s every week.
I know. The point I'm making is I'll get to around the houses a little bit. The point I'm making is she struck near somebody amongst all those thousands of fans watching could not give a shit. So maybe she speaks her mind. It's just her. I don't think it's Barry Bannan. I don't think that's his voice. I don't think that's his frustration. That's just her jumping on there, having the she's fed up being in London. She wants to go up north. What's the fucking point? Blah, 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 blah. And that's why she's come out and said it. And she regretted it. And no doubt, I ain't going to do the impression again, but Barry Bannan said to her, no! Get it down! No! You good! Right, so we move on.
Yes. Swiftly.
I want to go down a bit. We'll go positive, negative, positive. Right, negative. Disco, Doughty. What the actual fuck's going on there? I mean, when we signed him, I was one of the few fans. I don't know what you guys like in the chat as well, but I was one of the few fans thought, you know what? I'm loving this. I've always wanted to get Alfie Doughty. Technically great when he's in the Premiership. I think he's one of their best players for Luton. We signed him, and he turned up, and I'm thinking, who the fuck is this dustman? He just turned up. I'm looking at it thinking, where's your fluorescent yellow jacket?
Sorry, guys. By the way, sorry, guys. Middlesbrough scored. Middlesbrough scored.
Ooh. So I asked me, it was a bit of an anticlimax, Disco, for me. And although we've seen glimpses, I mean, Norwich, first game of the season, Angela, you and I were there away at Norwich, and the ball he pulled in, for Langstaff, and the through balls he played in other games as well, incredible. Technically really good player, but we've seen him post stuff on social media. He's drinking, and he doesn't seem to train hard. He looks overweight and unfit. He's injured. Disco. I mean, I don't know. What do you make of that?
Look, in all honesty, I didn't think we actually needed that the signing when we signed him, but I was hugely enthusiastic. So much so, before I get reminded on here, and rightly so. We have a competition at the beginning of the season where we put down various, who's going to go up, who's going to be top scorers, blah, 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 who's going to be Millwall's player of the season. And I put forward a certain Alfredo Doughty as I thought he was going to make a really huge impression. And I'll tell you what, my bet looked quite good at Norwich on the first game of the season with an absolutely delicious ball through to Langstaff to score the winner, as it turned out.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, I think he had a little spell of performing quite well and started.
He kept Zach Sturridge.
Did he get injured and then
he?
Did he then come back?
Yeah.
Did he play and then he got injured? Then he came back.
Yeah.
And he looked quite good, and then he got injured again. It was that little block where I thought, oh, now we're getting the real deal. And
if I remember, was it Hull away? I think it was. I remember seeing. I thought he played brilliant in that game as well, at left back.
No, he got injured there.
No, he got injured there. He got injured there.
I'm sure it's a game when him and Zach Sturridge doubled up.
Portsmouth away, he played a bit further up.
Maybe.
The game he played.
We lost the game. I was impressed with his play.
No, sorry.
Watford away.
Watford it was.
Watford away. I remember watching him away at Watford away, and he looked quality. He played left back. He kept the winger quiet. He was getting forward. He looked so good. He looked fit. He looked up for it. And then just went off the rails.
He has gone off the ball. He's not fit. He's not fit, is he? He doesn't look good, as you say. I love the analogy of the fucking Ivies. That's brilliant.
Can I say something as well, right? You know that goal? You know the goal where Bellumi scored, right?
Yeah.
What the hell was that for Doughty? He was going like that. He's put his arms out. Right.
Could he be pissed, Angelo? Do you think maybe? He was still pissed from the night before.
No, he was getting his Ivies and trying to get his off of his back.
What you possibly be blaming there?
Yeah, well, it's classic, innit? Blame everybody else.
Without Doughty,
he could have cut the ball out. You know, he goes to go and then he stops, and that's because he's not fit. He didn't trust himself. Somebody said earlier.
Well, he looked, as you said, this guy. He looked cold. He wasn't match ready. He come out there. It was, a second behind the game. The play, it just wasn't right, was it? He wasn't right, and it cost us. It really did. Stato, if you want to add to Doughty.
What I would say is, and I think he's watching. I'm assuming he's watching. And we're out now. No. But my.
I was going to say, I'll take that back, Alf. Sorry, son. I didn't mean that. I like them men.
Much like our beloved Disco, my dad also predicted that Alfie Doughty would be the Millwall player of the season.
You're not the only one, Disco. You're
not the only, and I will be reminding him of this conversation when we finish on here. But I think Doughty come with a reputation. I think when it was clearly we signed Zach Sturridge. Joe Bryan was the experience. Sturridge was, in my opinion, was going to be the guy to take the shirt from Bryan and then make it his own. And Joe Bryan would have been there to kind of coach him and mentor him type thing until the end of the season. And then Bryan would go, and that's kind of how it was going to work. All of a sudden, Alfie's agent's gone, Millwall, there's a chance to do a deal. And because of the name and the quality that
and the fact that we know he's a Millwall fan, his family in Millwall, you just couldn't
absolutely
you better,
you couldn't, you couldn't. And I think the Premier League, he was on the cusp of an England call up as well. By the way, for Luton, there was talk that he should have been in one of the Euro. That is true. Yeah. That is true. He probably.
You're right.
But he also the game after, and it was a former team of his because he did play at Charlton, didn't he? He played very well when we beat Charlton at the Den. So maybe he raises his game for those type of performances. But he's just been so disappointing to much like you, Joe. I've really thought bloody hell.
Oh,
the signing when we signed him.
My performance at the Den. I thought,
No. When we signed him, I thought this guy, this is unbelievable. This is a great signing for the club. And then you look at him and you go, I don't know. This really is. And I tell you what, and it's no secret. I don't know how many people would have known this or saw this, but about November, December time, Doughty turned up for a game with his. I'm assuming his girlfriend, wife, in a chauffeur-driven car, and his Louis Vuitton bag out the boot from his driver. He did, and I saw it with my own eyes. And look, footballers have got money; they can do whatever they want. They can do whatever they want. They live their life and spend their money on whatever they want to. But for someone that kind of promotes the Millwall way, the Millwall family, my family are big Millwall fans, and that may well be true, but Millwall fans are not stupid and football fans are not stupid if you're just completely destroying your relationship with the football club by basically just being more interested in, as someone said, playing at Westerham Golf Club than you are playing for Millwall. And look, he could turn it around and he could turn out Disco, put him down for your player of the season next season, because he's probably still going to be here unless someone comes in and takes a punt. But I think he's got a long way to repair the relationship with the supporters and get himself back on track.
I agree. We backed him. You know, we backed him, and I've seen the Mill fans, you know, support him and clap him and call him one of our own, all that stuff. And to be honest with you, I haven't really seen him pay it back to the fans yet. I really haven't. Andrew, anything you want to add to Alfie Doughty?
I've been very, very disappointed, and the alarm bells were ringing for me when we signed him. All the Luton fans were like really giving a bad reference, and I thought, that's just grapes. That's just sour grapes. Yeah. They were right, mate. You know, he's unfit, he's unreliable, he's this, he's that. You know, and then yesterday he made that mistake, and I saw Cooper barking at him, saw Kramer barking at him, and I'm thinking, does he fit in with the group? I don't know. Maybe I could be completely wrong there, but like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It just
you might be on something there. Yeah,
I don't know. It's just something. There's something not right about the guy. He's obviously got talent. Stuff. He nearly got an England team, and I believe that Man United were looking at him as well.
Aesthetically, he did look a lot fitter when he played for Luton in the Premiership. He looked more. He looked fitter. He looked good. You see him now. Yeah, he's got his double chin, his belly, and it's just a shame. If you're that talented and you got that opportunity to have a short career as a footballer, fuck me,
crazy.
So I don't think he deserves that song we sing to him. I don't think he deserves it. I
think. Look, I think Stato's right. He ain't going anywhere, unfortunately, whether we like it or not, because no one's going to come in with this anywhere near the money we paid for him, but by all accounts, and pay his salary, no doubt. Look, possibly unlikely, but if he did put his head down and think, right, pre-season, I'm going to have a really good pre-season, I'm really going to get stuck in. Angelo's just nailed it. He has got ability. He has got ability, and I might not put him down as player of the season next year, but he could surprise us and be a bit of a rough diamond and turn into being a really useful asset. But very sad. It'd be nice if he could have a wake-up call and realise, don't throw this away, mate.
You know what?
Great chance here.
Disco. So this comment here from Alex MFC. So look at the reaction from Neckley. Got booed off a while back, and he come back. Do you think that will work with Alfie? I'm not encouraging Mill fans to boo him next season, but what I'm saying is it a point now where, this tag of, I'm a Millwall fan, my family in Millwall, kind of gets him off the kind of hook a little bit, in a sense that he's got a little bit of...
Yeah, maybe, but I think he should carry... Look, I think we've said before, and there's a bit of debate going on, is he really a Millwall fan or not? I think he is, but he's not a Millwall fan like we know and love. It's his team. It's his family's team, and he's part of that, but he's not really invested. And, look, I don't know the guy, but it doesn't strike me as that type. But, look, the other point is, you think... the first point is, yes, that's a great example. Take on board what happened to Negley. We haven't booed him, but we effectively have in social media since last night, haven't we? And tonight. Yeah. He knows people are not impressed with him at all. And if he doesn't, he's bloody stupid. But that's one thing. And the other thing is, I think his family would have a little word, wouldn't you? And say, hey, come on, buck it up, son. Listen. And, there's an opportunity. Look, I say there's an opportunity.
Too much.
He's a millionaire, no doubt, and there's no problem for him financially. But football's a short career. Go and give it your all for the next couple of seasons and really make yourself a bit of a cult hero, and you'll live on that forever.
What I would say, Joe, just on your question about the, would the booing work on Alfie Doughty? Well, would the Millwall, being a Millwall fan and one of our own, and that carry any weight? Well, after yesterday, that whatever connection there was and whatever leeway he was getting, that has completely and utterly gone. The guy has been absolutely ripped to shreds on social media, and Doughty himself has replied. He has in the past.
He reads them. Yeah,
he reads the comments. He's probably got them all stored up, ready to he replied, didn't he, after to someone after an assist or something. And look,
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care what he does in his personal life. To be honest with you, I don't care what he does with social media. But if you're a professional footballer and you're representing the team that you supposedly support and your family support, don't treat it like it almost as if he's treating it as a little bit like a bit of a jolly. I'm a professional footballer. I'm going to do what I want to. And look, we might be doing him a massive disservice. We could be getting this entirely wrong, but Luton fans have said it. We're now seeing it. It just doesn't look good for him, does it? And you can't really argue it now.
No. Right, let's move on to the next subject. A player who I guess does earn the right and does earn the title of being one of our own, Angelo, is Billy Mitchell. Another big one. So there's plenty of rumours going around that he won't sign this new contract or won't sign a new deal, and he could potentially be gone this summer. Would you be gutted if Billy leaves, Angelo?
Yeah, I would, mate. I would. Yeah, but when Billy is on form, he's fantastic. The only thing that is not on Billy's side is just he's got no pace, is he? He's got no pace. He's got no athleticism, but he is Millwall through and through. Do you know what I mean? And I genuinely think maybe we could have done with him yesterday. With a full house, the importance of the game. Maybe that was a game for Billy yesterday. But
why do you think he weren't playing? Could it be the fact that he's not signed a contract and it's almost like their way of saying, well, if you're not going to sign, we're not going to play you? Or
I don't know, Joe, but you got to put that to the side, mate. We're 90 minutes away from Wembley, and then we're 90 minutes away from the Premier League. You got his contract disputes. You have to put that to the side. If you think he's good enough to get us a result, you got to play the guy. Do you know what I mean? Listen, I love Casper De Norre, love him, yeah, but I think he hasn't been himself the last couple of games. So it wouldn't have been a big shock to give Billy a go, But listen, it's all hindsight, innit? We lost the game, and we always, you come up with all these ideas. But yeah, no, you answered your question, mate. I hope he doesn't go. The rumours are that he's not happy with the terms that he's been offered. I heard today someone said that West Brom are sniffing. I hope that they can do a deal with him and he stays, mate. Billy's the type of guy that's he's a one club man. He's going to stay with us forever. Do you know what I mean? I can't visualise Billy playing for another team. I can't see it for another kit,
Yeah. I know the change room likes him, the players like him, even these competitors. I know Casper's a big fan of his and respects him as well. So
I hope he stays. I hope he stays.
Guys in the chat, number one in the chat if we think we should keep Billy Mitchell. Number two in the chat if you think we should let him leave and sign another midfielder instead. So be honest with your opinion. One in the chat, keep him. Two, if you think you should let him leave and sign a midfielder. Disco, what do you feel? I mean, has he developed enough, in your opinion, to be a regular starter in what we are now known as a promotion chasing side? I mean, how does that sit? Obviously, we can't let our heart rule ahead, can we, at times like this,
No, listen, I like Billy. He's always divided opinion, but not for me. I've always felt he's had ability. I don't think he's been used to full effect from previous managers. I think Alex has used him better and he's shown he's got quality. However, personally, I know there's a lot of, even in our chat, going on about why Billy didn't play these last few games. I don't think there was anything to do with him not signing the contract, etc., etc. If Alex felt he would win us a game, I'm sure he'd have played him. Look, Billy's just come back from an injury. Casper, not been brilliant, but, probably harsh to have dropped him. We said ourselves, I think your show, Stephen, with Ben, I think this a monthly review where you said, really, Derek Del Boy is first name on the sheet at central midfield at the moment. So how do you drop him for Billy? And Del Boy didn't let us down. So I think that was more down to just, it was the players that were available and fitness levels, etc., that meant he didn't get straight back in. And then in terms of bringing him on as a sub, I think he did come on at Holloway, didn't he? Did he come on for a few minutes at Holloway, or am I wrong?
Yeah, I think so.
He did, didn't he?
I think so, yeah.
So he came on there. And he didn't come on yesterday because he wanted the creativity, which I get. That wouldn't have been Billy's gig. But look, in hindsight, that energy, that desire, that Millwallness would have been hugely useful, especially in those first 15, 20 minutes. In terms of letting him go, look, my head and heart would say keep him, but it looks like he's going. And if he does go, the only good side to that is, we've said it for a long time now, him and Kasper and the midfielders are all too similar. We do need different. Yeah. We do need different. So if it's what Billy wants as well, which it sounds like it probably is, he'll go and get more money elsewhere. And I'll tell you what, he'll prove to people who don't think he's a good player that he is a bloody good player at another club. But I don't really want him to go, but I think he will go. And I don't think it will be a disaster for us in terms of we can bring in something new, which is what I think we need in the midfield.
Can I just ask one quick question before we go to Stato, Disco? Is with our current crop of midfielders and players we've got at the moment, and I'm going to include Barry Bannan in this as well, where does Billy Mitchell sit in the pecking order? You got Del Boy, you got Kasper, you got Barry Bannan. You could possibly even throw, Kundle in there, Negley if need be. I mean, does he fit in that mix, or is he a backup to them? And because that might answer your question there, whether we do let him go or keep him.
I'll probably contradict myself. On form and on performances this season, over the longevity of the season, it would be Billy and Kasper would be my middle two. But again, the downside to that is they're too similar. They're too similar.
They are very similar, exactly.
But we've played well when they've played together. So, look, I don't think he's out of the top two, certainly three choices. But if he goes, and it looks like he is going, he would have signed a contract by now, wouldn't he? I think we will move on as a result of that and do him good and probably do us good in the long run.
Nice Disco. Stato, to get your final thoughts on the Billy Mitchell situation, would you keep him? Would you let him go and replace him? What's your take on the whole situation there?
I think injuries are going against him in the latter part of his Millwall career. I think last season he missed a lot of football. This season,
John agrees with you as well.
I've just looked it up. He's started 24 games in the league for us, so literally won over half of the games.
Wow.
Wow.
Which it's not great when you put that into perspective. And I know that we've had injuries. Someone's asking about how old he is. I believe he's 20. He's just turned 25 as well. So he's not in young. But he's not in that younger brackets room to improve. Like, how much more can we get out of Billy Mitchell?
This is what I'm saying. Is he going to develop more than what he is at the moment?
And that's it. And if I asked you three, he's made his debut for Millwall in 2019. I know, obviously, COVID, etc. How many goals do you think he scored in 7 years with the club? Bang on.
One. I can't even remember it, but I've seen footage of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and look, he's
not many assists either, is there? Really?
No,
he's goal contributions. Yeah.
He's not an attacking midfielder, so I'm not saying he's got to be getting 10 goals from midfield, and I don't want anyone to think that I'm slagging him off, because his work rate and his defensive effort is absolutely superb. And like I said, if you'd have said, I said it at the start of the show, if you'd have said that we had a fit Billy Mitchell for the playoffs and he would be sitting on the bench, you'd be absolutely like, it would be insane to think that he wouldn't be playing at this stage of the season. And I think that the club have come to terms with that he won't be signing. I think he has come to terms that he's not going to get whatever it is that he wants. We're led to believe, we don't know what it is, but he's not going to get whatever he feels that he should. And perhaps it's right for all parties that he if he's happy to leave and move on, that we say thank you very much. What I would say on the flip side, and we can't keep talking about the same players, but Derek is a ready-made replacement. He's 21 years old. We have got the perfect replacement for Billy. Obviously, he's had a couple of injuries this season as well.
Sorry to interrupt you there, but unlike Billy, unlike Kasper, and others of that age, he will get better.
Yeah, and that's it.
He will get with game time.
And also look at Josh Coburn. Josh Coburn has developed. He's a bigger,
Yeah.
Can I just say as well, though, one thing, and I know we'd all agree, we're talking about Alfie Doughty. What an absolute model professional he comes across as, Billy. Yeah. You can tell the model, and what an articulate young man he is as 100%. Well. He told me that guy is quality, And
I had a pleasure to speak to him a couple of times. I know time I've spoken to him, he is one of the loveliest, guys to me. I remember speaking to him when he was really young, and recently I think I was talking to him away at Charlton when him and Langstaff got lost, and me and them were trying to find our way through the back way and all the rest of it. And you could sort of it was quite funny. It was all kicking off the Charlton fans and Millwall fans. And we were all standing there do we go, do we not go? And Langstaff was kind of we had the tracksuits on. I just had my normal clothes on. And Billy went, fuck it, let's just go for it. And we kind of died through the crowd, with all the fucking bottles being chucked over and all the rest of it. And brilliant. Funny guy, and we wish him, if he does go, wish him all the very best, Billy. And thanks a lot for everything, mate. And good luck with everything. Angela, sorry, have you had to stay on your Billy? You spoke about Billy, right?
Yeah, I was first one, yeah.
You did, right. Stay with yourself, Angelo. I want to ask you, who else could be gone this summer, in your opinion? Obviously, we talked about Kramer going. There's obviously Aziz potentially going to Ipswich. You might get that move to Ipswich now. It looks like it might happen. Obviously, Barry Bannan, his future now under question after today's noise. We talk about Billy. Are there any other fringe players that you feel that could be off this summer, or maybe should be off and we should be replacing them?
Well, it's Danny Mack. Danny Mack, is he carry on sitting on the bench? I don't know.
Well, technically, is his contract expired in the summer now? Is it? I think
this might be one for Stato.
Stato, is he?
It is, yeah.
It is, yeah. Okay. Anyone else?
As well, yeah.
Yeah, he's done because he got they gave him the extension, didn't they? Because he had that bad injury, and they signed him up for another year to kind of look after him a little bit and give him a chance to prove fitness, but it's just not. He's just not playing, really,
Angelo, here's one for you, Angelo. How long do we persevere with Miha? Could he be off this summer?
Mate, if someone comes in with 5 million plus, I'll take the money.
Would you really?
Yeah, I would. I just.
What a shame, isn't it? How that career's gone. When we first had him last season.
I don't think he ain't got it, mate. He's just not got it, has he? And we don't create enough chances for him to be the fox in the box. We don't create enough chances. So, if he is just a pure finisher, we don't create enough chances for him. So.
I've always said with Mihailo Ivanovic, I've always said if he takes a leaf out of Coburn's book and this summer hits the fucking gym, starts doing some weights, getting a little bit stronger, a bit more strength, a bit more aggression in his play, he could be some player. And he's got the blueprint there with Josh Coburn. And I think it's painfully obvious to see where he needs to improve on, and if he can do that and add that to his game, what a player he could be for us. Sorry, go Stato.
Just add in, and I'm going to get pelters for this, and that's absolutely fine. But Neil Harris said in an interview just before he left the club that his strikers weren't getting in the right positions that he would want them to be in to be finishing off chances.
I thought you were going to say he said that Joe Zampa scored the best goal at the Den.
No.
Wasn't that, was it? No. Okay.
No. And he was clearly talking about Mia. And obviously the back end of last season, Ivanovic he proved him wrong a little bit, but he scored, if you think about Ivanovic's goals in the running, right? He scored a free kick at Preston. He scored a banging volley against who was it? Luton. He ran from the halfway line with a ball from Bangura Williams at Portsmouth. He didn't score the really many goals, the tap-ins in the box. Maybe Burnley. People will say there's a couple, and I get that. But how many times have we put crosses into the box this year, and you are crying out for our centre forward to be on the end of it, And Ivanovic just isn't there. He's just not in the position to finish the chances. Angelo said about the fox that create the chances for the fox in the box. We don't maybe, I agree, we don't create enough of those chances for him to maybe miss one or two, but he's not putting himself in the right position half the time. And I think Harris had a little bit of a point when he said what he did. He has improved, but like Angelo, he idolizes Alexander Mitrovic, who was one of the sort of nasty bastard, if you will, of English football, and he's just a bit of a pussycat. Ivanovic, he just gets thrown off the ball.
Well,
he gets bullied.
I always think if you're a centre back and you're a defender, who would you like to play against, or who would you hate playing against out of Josh Coburn and Ivanovic?
Well, there's no question, is it, mate?
It's obvious, you know, and that's what I'm saying. It's not rocket science. You know, Miha needs to add that part to his game, and if it's a physical thing, I mean, we saw it in pre-season when he was over in Spain, and he was knocking defenders off the ball, and I thought, here we go. Like, this is a new and improved Miha Ivanovic, and he looked like he was up for it. He showed aggression. He looked really good in that pre-season, and then start of season comes, and he goes back to being very.
And that France team we played in pre-season at the Den, he looked unbelievable as well. What was that team we played? Was it a Portuguese team or something? Can't remember.
It was, yeah.
But he was awesome in that game as well. He had a great pre-season, but he just hasn't kicked on, has he? He hasn't. He's gone backwards, if anything.
Yeah. I mean, he's only 21 years of age, so he's got age on his side, isn't he, Disco? And I think if you're him and you're looking to sort of improve your game, develop, there's opportunities, there's ways of improving your game. I don't think it's fair enough to call his time on us right now. I think he needs time to get better, but a big summer, Disco, for him in order to improve next season. Am I all right?
Yeah, 100%. Agree with everything that's been said. Look, he couldn't moan at fans like Angelo has just said there, saying, look, if we could get 5+ for him, you'd take it right now on this year's performances. I would, and I know a lot of fans would. The only crumb of comfort is, like you say, he's still young. He's got an opportunity to go away and train and do things differently in the summer and have a great pre-season again. Look, let's get it right. This business that he can't play up top on his own. Well, wake up and smell the coffee, mate, because modern football, you don't get true 4-4-2s these days and two out-and-out strikers. Very few teams play one
striker. You're
very
right.
few. So he's got to get what is his position, what is his style, and how's he going. What was it last night? He got oofed off the ball by the fella you mentioned, Ajayi, didn't he? You know, late on, and he pumped the air because he just shouldered him off. It was like embarrassing. You know, and you think about his hero, Mitrovic, no way is that happening. So, but look, the thing to hang on to is if he doesn't go, and I'm not sure anybody will come in for him, you might get a foreign team maybe fancy it, is could it be second year blues? You know, he came in, started slowly, then finished like a train.
Look at Teddy Sheringham all those years ago, Disco.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure you remember him. Yeah, he
100%.
didn't exactly set the world alight. Fans used to hate him, and he went out on loan.
Sadly, the same. You know.
Yeah, and both of them added that aggression to their game and that physicality, and that was it. Their careers just flourished. And I think Miha has to look at that as a part of his game, and it's just part of the game now. You've got to do that.
I think someone's just put in the chat there 12 goals and assists this season and 13 goals and assists last season, and at 21 years old. So he's been involved in 25 goals in his first 2 seasons in English football. Yeah. I get that argument. I really, really do get that argument. But purple patch player, I'm not comparing him to Tom Bradshaw. What Tom Bradshaw did, he scored 16 goals, but he did it in about 9 games in the season.
And all in the 6-yard box, didn't they, to be fair? Yeah.
But I think Ivanovic, he just needs someone to get hold of. Do you know the perfect person to have a chat with him is probably Steve Morrison?
100%.
Yeah.
He's the perfect person to have a word with him and go, much like Kenny Jackett did to him when he was at the club. He's the perfect person to have a word with him and go, look, listen, this is, you know, develop that night. I don't want him going around smashing people and getting red cards every other week. That's not what I'm saying. No. But he just needs someone to get hold of him and say, look, this is what we need from you. If you want to make it, This is what we need. And I don't know if I would accept 5 million. I think that I still think that at the age he is, and maybe the second season blues, we give him a chance and hold out for more money. But as in terms of being a Millwall player and being, a success this season, this summer and the early part of next season is huge for Ivanovic, because if he doesn't hit the ground running, I can see us bringing in another striker and him potentially being third choice.
Yeah, I just seen him yesterday. Like that, there was not yesterday against Hull, the first leg. I couldn't get up there for that game, but I was watching some highlights, and to see him on the bench, as a little lost soul on the bench on his own. The game's going. Coburn's bashing their defenders around and playing really well and earning, man of the match. You got Ivanovic just sitting there quietly, in the dark. And you think, what's happened here? Technically, he's such a great player. He's got so much potential, but he just needs to add that part. And they always say 90% of football is played in the head, 10% is in the feet. And it's true. No matter how good you are technically, you ain't got it up there. It's irrelevant, isn't it? And
just
so,
out of interest, Stato, what figure would tempt you to sell him? Just out of interest. No,
I think if you get offered more than 8, I think that's if we're led to believe that the entire package was around 3 million, no doubt that Vojvodina, is that I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't know the name of the club
right.
in Serbia, that they're likely to have an add-on or a sell-on clause or something.
Yeah,
so I think the club won't be rushed into a £5 million sale. I know that lots of comments. I think Ben is Mr. Green is prepared to drive him wherever he wants to go immediately. I think there's a few players he wants to drive immediately wherever they want to go.
He's a fucking minibus. There you go, Ben Green. Guys, in the chat, guys. Number 1, if you feel we should keep Ivanovic next season. Number 2, if you think it's time to call it quits and sell him on. So I'd be interested to get the listeners' thoughts on that one as well.
And Joe, sorry, going. The Bannan debate looked like a unanimous 2 go, wasn't it? Your
pretty
question
much was
unanimous.
It pretty much was.
Billy, was it split or was it more ones for Billy?
I think Billy wanted him to stay. They wanted him to stay.
Interesting.
And at the moment on this one, I'm just looking at the results here. I mean, God, we've got. It's quite split. We've got a 1. We've got a 1, 2. How are we getting on to that? We've got a 1.
It's
1,
very
2,
even. Very
1,
even.
2,
I'm seeing more stay. I'm
seeing more stay. I've got one ones. I've got more ones. There are a few 2s in there, but I think ones just edge it.
The other thing you have to take into consideration is that it's the day after the playoff semi-final where we've got beat, and we're all really pissed off. And we all say, we could. Joe's saying he could do a better job than half the strikers we've got in the squad, and that's just how we're approaching.
Listen, it's quite funny, right? Because Ronnie Ball, obviously I've known him many years, a mate of mine. He comes down to Den, and we met up for the game yesterday, didn't we? And a couple of guys are chatting to him in the old concourse bit, and he mentioned about me playing at Den. Have you seen Joe's goal at Den? And even Ronnie come out with it, and he goes, yeah, would you believe? He goes, this fucker scored 1 more goal than I have. He's never scored for Millwall, has he, Ronnie Ball? So, I just want to say, it's cemented there, isn't it? Now,
The point I'm trying to make is that we don't know what players are going to be here. The retained list is probably going to come out really, really soon. So the out of contract players will go and the loan players will go back. We don't know who's going to be here. For example, if we lost Aziz, Billy Mitchell, Tristan Kramer, and other players that have been in around the first team, a lot of players are going to go. All of a sudden, we're having to bring in 5, 6, 7, 8 players. If you then lose a Negley, an Ivanovic, I don't know, other players that might be on the radar, we're all of a sudden we're having to bring in 10, 11, 12 players. Are the club going to sanction the sale of Mihajlo Ivanovic if we've already lost a load of players? And the other one, I mean, I don't know if we're going to get onto it another time, but the goalkeeper, Lucas Jensen, is he going to be able to play? Are we going to sign someone? You've got Evans in the fold. There's so many players that are in a strange position.
Jensen looks like
a good point.
he's diving all over the place down the training videos.
He's looking good. I'll be seeing that. Yeah, guys, we've got to move on. Angelo, come to yourself next. Loan players. Are there any loan players that you feel that we should look to keep or sign on per next season?
I'm so pleased you asked me that, because I was actually going to bring this up myself. Right, I think this is the first time that we've like, normally when we have a loan player, we always want to keep the odd loan player. The only one that I can think of that I would like to keep is the goalkeeper. Apart from that, the rest of them, the rest of them, they can go, mate. There's
not even Ballo. I'll tell you what.
You were turning though, Angelo. You were turning the other week, weren't you?
Can I just say, Stato
against this guy.
Stato. Ballo, how many assists has he got this season for us? He scored 1 goal against Oxford away. We were there, Angelo. But how many? I'm sure he's got like 6 or 7 assists this season. And I think it's the most assists a winger has got for Millwall, apart from possibly.
He's got 5 assists.
5 assists. That's not bad. And there's a chunk of the season when he wasn't playing in the middle, was there? Now, I like his attitude. He works hard. He's pretty quick. He does get forward. He does track back. He does put the shift in. I for one, would like to see Ballo sign a perm for the right price. For the right price, not for the £4.5 million that was quoted, but for the right amount. I would say, as a squad player, get him in. Get him in.
He gets an assist 1 every 6.5 games. Now, I know that he's been subbed and on and off and this, that, and the other. I can't fault the guy defensively. I think he has helped Zach Sturge. Clearly, I mean, Tommy Watson, that game at Hull, the league game, Watson just left Sturge out to dry and the pair of them were taken off. It was absolutely embarrassing. Ballo gives Sturge cover. He really does help, but my God, the final delivery from Ballo is so poor.
I don't think that's fair. I've seen him go out. I've seen it. He's right-footed. Okay, he's an inverted winger. He does go to the byline and he does deliver a good cross with his left foot at times. He's got a lovely goal for Aziz at the back post at the Den once. I've seen him put some lovely balls in his left foot. You know, guys in the chat, Ballo, number 1, do we keep Ballo next season, or number 2, do we let him go?
If we sign Tierno Ballo, right? If we sign him as our left midfielder for next season,
I'm not saying that we're going to start him
we might as well give up.
As a squad player, we've seen this season how important it is to have squad players. And I just think he's somebody who will give you 6 out of 10, really, you know?
Unanimous 2. Off you go.
It's quite unanimous. What the fuck do I know, then, eh? Right, see you later.
Mic drop.
Look at.
Cheers, lovely listeners. Thanks for your support, guys.
See you, Jill Zampa.
Thanks for your fucking support, eh? A whole season. I've given you a whole season of live shows, apart from the times I can't do it. Disco and the status slips up. But you fuckers just throw me under the bus like that.
The biggest thing I would say is that for the second half of the season, we brought Tommy Watson in, right? And as soon as Alex Neil realised he weren't any good, he had to play Ballo. And over the 2 legs in the biggest games of the season, we didn't trust to take off Ballo. It wasn't that Ballo was playing well. It's because the bloke that they had that would have been a replacement in his place wasn't good enough. And that tells you all you need to know, because Ballo wasn't producing and they still didn't take him off. And that's not him. That's on the squad. If we get him on a real cheap deal and we sign a proper left winger and maybe another one, and he's a real squad player, maybe. But other than that, we've got a bit people. We've all said we're looking further ahead. Ballo's not the answer for the championship.
You're a no. Angelo, are you a yes or no on Ballo?
It's a no for me.
Okay, Disco, are you a yes or no on Ballo?
In fairness, I was a bit like Angelo these last few weeks, starting to think, hang on, he's stepping up to the plate again, like he started the season. But sadly, an emphatic no for me. Move on. Okay. A 2. Let's move on and get new.
Hearing all what you said there, guys, I agree with everything you're saying. I'm not saying that Ballo is our answer and he's a player that's going to start every week in, week out on that left side. Okay. But he's got great work ethic. He's got a great engine.
Definitely.
He's young. He's a great squad player. He's good to start some games, good to come off the bench some games. I think he should be part of the squad. If we're getting for a decent price, he knows what it means to play for Millwall. We said it, he works hard, he tracks back, he does all the defensive side of it as well. But we need 1-1 Borough and Southampton. For me, as a squad player, I'd rather have him. We've seen other players come in and try and do a job. They can't do it. Zach Lovelace can play there. He's never fit. Watson, what's that about? And Marku, there's a reason why we let Marku go. But Ballo, I think consistently, he's done a job there for us. I'm not saying he's the answer.
Has he ever done anything coming off the bench, Joe? I can't remember him coming on and making an impact. I might be wrong.
Massively. Unlike Marku, he's the opposite. I think he plays better when he starts again, doesn't he?
Agreed with that. And his defensive duties, without a shadow of a doubt. But I don't want me winger to be a defender.
So that's my. I don't think Ken's buying it, is he?
The one positive thing about Ballo is that his better performances have been at the Den.
Yeah.
Found,
yeah, and Oxford away when he scored as well. I thought he played quite well that game. Next one, guys. Start with yourself, Stato, this time. What the fuck's going on with Tommy Watson? What's all that about?
I don't know. I honestly, the thing, he is a player.
Sorry to interrupt you. There's one player I was excited about getting when I heard the rumours we signed him. Honestly, what anticlimax. Sorry, Stato, mate.
But why was you excited about getting him? What was the reason?
Because what I saw done for Sunderland the season before, what I've seen him play for England under 18s, under 19s, he looks like such a promising young. He's fast. He's left-footed, right-footed, both-footed player. He's an inverted winger. He's strong. He gets goals. He gets assists. Yeah, he played in the cup game against. He played for Brighton in the cup game against. I don't know who it was now. It was lower league division, and Brighton won something like 8-0 in that game. And Gomez got a hat-trick. And I think he set up a hat-trick for Gomez. I'm pretty sure it was him. And he scored 2 as well in that game. And he looked unbelievable. You
say that, right? And I'm not I can't confess I've seen any of the England games and this, that, and the other. He scored 2 goals in 22 appearances for Sunderland. Right, and one of them was in the playoff final, so everyone's going to hype that up because it's a playoff final, winning goal, and Sunderland fans love him, and this, that, and the other.
He played really well against us at the Den. I remember him playing well against us that game. I was thinking, who's this kid? He looks quality.
But he was bought for £10 million by Brighton off of the fact that he scored the winning goal in the playoff final. He's English, he's young. They bought on potential. Much like Crystal Palace did when they bought Esse. Esse was obviously a little bit younger, but they bought off of potential.
But also, sorry to interrupt you, Stato, but also he's had the right ground. He's represented England, I think, under 50, under 60, under 70, the way through, He's come from the academy of Sunderland who, and broke through and done really well.
I can assure you, as Ben said in the chat, he will not kick a football for Brighton in the first team in the Premier League. He might in a Carabao Cup game. On
evidence of what we've seen this season at Millwall, then I completely agree with that.
And the hype around the signing, like everyone said how good it was, how exciting it was, people from outside the club, and it's just a damning. It's really damning that I said it just a minute ago, the biggest games of the football season for Millwall Football Club, the guy that was brought in to be a creative spark was sat on the bench and didn't get a single minute. That's how this loan spell has gone. A complete and utter waste of time. And I've got no hard feelings. Look, I hope he, if he goes away and does make it, and no hard feelings that it didn't quite work out with us, much like we say about other players. But my God, incredibly disappointing. And I just don't see. I don't see a £10 million footballer. I really don't.
Okay, Angelo, how about yourself, mate?
Yeah, I was excited when we got him, mate. I remember him coming down to the Den with Sunderland. I was really, really impressed. But listen, has he only been given 1 start at Millwall? Yeah,
I think so.
Holloway, right?
I think lots of substitute appearances. We just haven't seen anything, mate. Yeah, it's just.
Is it me or is it just his demeanour? It's like he doesn't care.
Maybe
he doesn't care. He doesn't try hard. He doesn't. put a
He's
shift.
only
He doesn't press. Yeah, but whether you're young or old, you've got to show that tenacity. He hasn't got that.
Wednesday, didn't he? He had a good cameo at Sheffield Wednesday. Come on.
Yeah. You done it right there.
But not for me, mate. Send him back.
Yeah, Disco, how about yourself?
Hugely excited when we got the signing. Felt a bit of a statement signing. I think it was said at the time, it's sort of player that we don't normally get. We're in for him, but you get other clubs in and they get him, and we didn't. And hugely excited. Very, very underwhelmed with what I've seen. In his defence, I'll go different to what a lot are saying. I don't think he has been given much of a chance, to be honest. He had that one chance at Hull, cocked it up, fair enough. But does that then write you off as a player? Alex sees him in training, I get that. But you said before, Stato, that Ballo wasn't replaced because he couldn't trust Watson. Well, I feel we could have done a few times. We could have said, well, go on, you go on and have a go. Show us what you can do. Last night being a case. Well, could have thrown him on last night. Might have been the game. He's shown he's a big game player at Wembley, So, but look, hugely underwhelming for a January signing when you think, Jesus, absolutely no impact whatsoever. But the balance, I don't think he's had a fair crack at it either. Although he did have a disaster at Hull, but that was one game, And he hasn't impressed. I bet if you got the stats up, I bet he's only had 10, 15 in other games. You can't judge people coming on in a game. The only one who you could judge for that was Imaku, who used to be brilliant for 10 minutes. But other than that, we won't go there right now. It's sadly very underwhelming, Joe.
Okay. Do you not think though that Alex Neil sees the players week in, week out in training, and if he's not getting game time and he's not getting a look in, that surely we all trust Neil, that he's the right manager for the team. He was the right person for the playoffs. He was the right manager for us. If he's looking at him week in, week out and going, I just don't think he's quite up to it. Do we not? Is that not enough for us to say, well, he just wasn't the right fit?
No, and I'll tell you why. Derek Matusako, Del Boy, look, he wasn't getting a look in. I know he'd had an injury, but we weren't getting a look in. Then he just came on a bit part of West Brom, that chance, and he fancied him. Training, look, they know more than us. They see him day in, day out. Training, it's actually what you do on the pitch, isn't it? And certain players, are better than. I just feel.
Sorry to interrupt you there. I think training gives you the opportunity to be sat on the bench. It puts you in the forefront of the manager's mind. But it's what you do when you step on that pitch. When you cross that line, that's what dictates whether you keep your place or you keep your shirt for the following game. And Alex Neil said that. He said that many times before. In his management career, he gives players opportunity. He doesn't care who you are. If you perform and you play well, you're back in the team next week. And he plays them on their performance and on their merit. And for me, there are players there like Del Boy that have taken the opportunity, like Coburn and a few others, who have stepped to the plate and done really well. And there are others like Doughty, like Watson, for me, that haven't done enough when they get the opportunity, and there's a reason why they don't get as many games as they have been getting.
But it's how much of an opportunity do you get would be my balance on that.
Doesn't matter.
And
it's 5 minutes.
Well, that's going to be hard.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
That 5 minutes, you've got to literally run your socks off. It's 5-10 minutes. You've got to prove to your manager why you should be in that team.
Yeah, I don't think Alex rated him defensively, did he either? I think a lot of you said he used to be barking at him, on the side, to get back and track back. So look, just didn't work out. And choker because he could have made a massive impact.
Yeah. Good. Guys, very quickly, we're approaching the 2-hour mark now, and I know this is the last one, so Stato, you'd be pleased to know that my OCD is under control, and I don't mind we go past 2 hours tonight, but it's the last one of the season. But Stato, if there was an area that we need to improve on next season, we're looking to strengthen our squad, what would be the number one position that we need to strengthen? And the same question to you guys.
Everything is screaming striker to me. However, I'm going to go wingers.
Okay. Is that on the proviso that Aziz leaves though?
No.
Is that
no? Because I think if Aziz stays, we still need to sort out the left hand side, and we also need to have someone that gives them literal direct competition, because I put it in the chat earlier. Ivanovic, Coburn, and Aziz between them scored 29 goals this season in the league. The rest of the squad scored 35 or whatever it was. So when Aziz didn't play, we desperately need players that, like Hull yesterday, they're front players that Bellumi, McBurney, Joseph, Miller, and Geldhart. They had 5 forwards that they started with 2. One got injured and they made changes. I think they had another. Is it you, the winger as well? Another an Asian winger.
Me?
So they had 6.
Fuck me or fuck you?
I think he said fuck you.
Fuck you. Okay.
They had 6 forwards that were all on it. They were quick. They were direct. They could make changes and still have some output at the end of it. With us, when Aziz was missing for that spell, how many of us were thinking, how the hell are we gonna create anything? So I think we need wingers. If Femi goes, we need 3. If Femi stays, we need 2.
Yeah. Good stuff. Cheers to that. Guys in the chat, I'm glad you've done this. I was going to ask you to do this. I'm glad you're doing it anyway. Put it in the chat what areas we feel need to strengthen. So cheers for doing that, and carry on with that. Angelo, how about yourself, mate? What areas you think we need to improve on and strengthen next season?
I think we need a right back, a left winger, and another striker.
Yeah. Okay. And of course, if Aziz goes, have we got a ready-made replacement for Aziz at the moment, or not?
No. Obviously, obviously you need a replacement there as well, mate. For Aziz.
So you're looking at it's going to be a massive transfer business, because it's going to be a big clear out. Look at 7-8 players are going to leave. A few of them are first team players.
If Kramer goes, then you need 2 right backs.
Well, let's say Kramer goes, Aziz goes, Patterson goes, because he's got to go back to his club. I don't think we're aside. We're not got promoted now. What else?
Ballo.
There you go. Ballo. Small bone. Okay,
Billy's not going to sign the contract. Luongo.
We need. Does Langstaff go? Do we keep Langstaff? Guys in the chat. Number 1, we keep Langstaff. Number 2, we move Langstaff on. Would you guys do with Langstaff next season? And don't say keep just to piss me off.
Yeah, but he's a nice
I know he's lovely. I know he's lovely. Bex is watching or listening.
Who's going to tell him? Who's going to tell him if he's going to go? He's such a nice bloke.
I don't know.
2 for me. Sorry, Macaulay. 2. Yeah, we need to. Right. If we have ambitions to go up and improve. Look, you're right. Where do we need to? I'll be a bit more generic, but I'm any player that is going to affect our ability to score goals or to impact in the final third. So that could be creative midfielder, could be a striker, could be a winger, could be an attacking fullback. There are positions we actually will need to replace. But we have really got to. We had some debate earlier, didn't we, in the chat? And the stats are unbelievable. We do not create enough in the final third, and our decision making. And I know Greeny's been blowing steam, hasn't he, the last few games, and rightly so. Our decision making in the final third is nothing short of appalling. Other than Aziz, for me, terrible.
That's my concern, though. Like, we've seen it when Aziz was injured and suspended, how we struggled to create goals and create chances and score goals. So to lose Aziz next season, it could be catastrophic for us. It really could. Unless we find somebody that's going to come in and do as good job, if not better than Aziz, then we're going to struggle next season. How easy or difficult would it be to even keep Aziz next season? There's an argument to say, look, we got close this time. We got third. Can we keep Aziz? Can we keep Kramer? Can we improve the squad and go on better next season? Can we do that? But then that's going to take a whole lot of man management to convince Aziz to want to stay, because, yes, selfishly we want to keep Aziz, we want to keep Kramer, but these guys, as we know, they've got very, very short careers. They want to earn as much money as they can in a short period of time, and they all want to play in the Premiership. They all want to play in the Promised Land. And who are we to say to them, no, you can't do it? So you've got to think about their livelihood as well. So it's tough, isn't it? It really is tough.
We've got Jesper screaming at the screen, I'm sure, that don't forget Lovelace.
Don't forget lovely. That's true. Good point. Right, guys, in the chat, guys, just to kind of end things off, I'm going to ask you guys the same question as well.
Joe, just one. Sorry, mate. Get Dave W's comment up there. That is a great comment.
We need a set piece coach.
100%. Honestly, and yet
it used to be such a big thing for us, didn't it? At one point, we've been really lacking in that area, haven't we?
They put the stats up last night that we're second or third in the league with 20 odd, and on that, no way. I mean, a lot of them, I think, are the halfway ball, knocked up, knocked down, and scored. But corners, free kicks, every corner they had last night, they caused mayhem in our box,
didn't they?
And no fouling, no fouls given, but it was chaos. But we go and if we do cause chaos, whistle, foul to the defenders. It's unbelievable. We've got to get better at that.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, absolutely right. Guys, in the chat, one word that you feel will sums up our season this season. Just one word. Put it in the chat. I want to come to you guys. Whoever wants to go first. One word. And pull it in, and guys in the chat as well.
Almost.
Shall I go first? Almost. I like that one.
Can I have 2 words?
Can you hyphen? Can you hyphen it?
You always got to go one. You always got to be greedy, ain't you, Andre? Go on.
Missed opportunity.
That's what I wanted to say, but I stuck to the brief with the one word.
We're never it as easy as this.
Gold star for Stato. Andre must try harder. No, you're right. Missed opportunity. You're right.
Honestly, because next season's going to be tough, mate. Honestly, whenever you've seen 3 very average Premier League teams that came down, they were average. Ipswich started off awful. Southampton started awful. Leicester have gone down. This was really our chance, and we blew it.
I'm loving these. I love these words here. Apart from melted and bottlers, but we've got
the
some
awful
really
gambler though. Is one bald.
We've got emotional from Alex. We've got eventful from John. Memorable from Danny. Yeah, epic. Bottlers, melted, excited, memorable, proud. Progression. Progression's a good one. Ball close, what one for you, Disco?
Yeah, it looks similar to the one you've just said there. I was going to say improving, and I really do think, and we are going in the right. Think where we are very gut wrenching. And look, you might want to put in the chat in a minute, 1 or 2. Has it helped tonight? Having getting it out of our system has helped me, I must say. But we are going in the right direction, guys, without a shadow of a doubt. It's been a really enjoyable season until last night. It's had its ups and downs. We haven't been perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but we are going in the right. Everything is aligning.
Here's one from Simon. Sell out. True.
Yeah, tourists.
That's the big one this season. Tourists. Look, and here's one. I love this one.
We should be. We should be.
Do you know? Can I say something on this, Joe? Right before we finish, right?
Yeah.
Like we finished in 3rd place and we got 83 points, right? And with all that is incredible, right? But we were not the 3rd best team in the league, mate. We wasn't, and that's why we have done so bloody good, mate. To finish 3rd on 83 points,
overachieved, didn't we? Yeah.
We're not the 3rd best team, but we've got one of the best managers. We've got such great squad unity, and it's amazing. It's amazing that we finished 3rd with 83 points because there's so much better teams than us, So well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
And Angelo, look, we remember that for next season because it's been said tonight, and you've said it there. It's going to be a tougher league next year. It's said every year. At the beginning of this season, people said, "Oh, it's going to be a real tough season this season." Every season we say, and it will be. But I think we've proved we can compete at this level significantly. And I'm not saying we're going to go and run away with the championship next season, but we can compete and should realistically say not just top 6 or 8, maybe go that little step further. You genuinely can if they believe and if they get a good squad together.
Do you know, like when you're at school and then the teacher says, in your report, what can you do better next year? There's just one thing we have to do better, and that is just play better in front of our home fans. You know,
Yeah.
lose
Rise to the occasion. Yeah.
lose 7/8 games at home. That's not Millwall, mate. That's not
Unbelievable.
Millwall. We need to repair that next season. If we repair that, we're gonna have another great season.
Yeah. Guys, just thank you for your comment. I'll bring your comments to the screens. Very nice comments. Even that one there.
Can you tell?
Yeah, exactly. Guys, look, we're going to come to the end of our live now. I just want to say to our listeners, you know who you are. You're here week in, week out. You're part of the Chat with Chaps family, and we'll be nothing without you guys. We do owe you a lot. You are the reason why we do this live. Every week. You are the reason why we give up our time to be here, to talk about Millwall, to prepare for these shows, and to put all the effort we do. Obviously we really do enjoy what we do, and we're very, very honoured with the with the views we get. We get a good few hundred of you on the lives over the course of a few days. We've built over 1,000 with people watching back on the repeats and the recordings. It's incredible. It is amazing, and a special thank you also to my co-hosts, to Disco Steve, to Stato, to Angelo, to George, to Ben, to
don't miss anyone. Don't miss anyone.
Paul. How can I miss Paul? Well,
Jesper.
Of course you can miss Paul. He's already
Dan.
to Jesper. I mean, Jesus. To Bex, who's been a great, added parts to the family. To Chris. Even to Dan Marsh when he has come in, now and again in the past, to Phil. Honestly, what Phil does behind the scene, guys, like you probably guessed it by now, but he does a hell of a lot. And this channel wouldn't be where we are if it wasn't for what Phil does behind the scenes, and he helps us, he helps Chris out so much. So special thank you to Phil. Thank you so much to the club as well. All the guys, the clubs, the players that we've connected with and spoken with. You've really, really helped our channel massively, and we really do appreciate your support. And and like I said, and above all, thank you to you guys, to listeners. We really do appreciate, and I love speaking to you guys at games. I love guys coming over. I don't know who you are. You don't know who I am, but you come over, you say nice things, you say you watch the channel, and it's always lovely to kind of get that kind of feedback. And I know you guys get the same thing as I do as well. So thank you so much. If I've forgotten anybody, missed anybody out, I do apologise. But our Tuesday nights will be a lot quieter. I might have spent some time speaking to Mrs. Zampa for a change, and and you're like, who are you? Oh, yeah. I'm your husband. But we do really enjoy it, guys. And we are going to miss Millwall over the summer. It's going to be fucking painful. And we'll be praying for pre-season, and we'll be praying for games to come back again. And it will come round sooner or later, I'm sure. Now, we might try and get a couple of shows out. There'll probably be a couple of recordings going out over the course of the summer, I'm sure. We might even try and do 1 or 2 lives. But as you can appreciate, there's probably not much to sort of talk about if we were to do lives going forward. So we'll have to sort of play that by ear a little bit and try and work something out. So look, before we say goodbye, I'll get final words from you guys. Stato, start with yourself first, mate. Anything you want to say to our listeners before we say goodbye?
Yeah, just a couple of things. Personally, thank you to all the listeners and all the panelists that supported me with my running efforts. I managed to raise just shy of £2,450, which has been added to the podcast total. Wow. So thank you very much for your support. It really does. It means a lot. And as Joe said, people come up to us at games and talk to us, and it's amazing to think that we share the same common hobby, if you will. We live and breathe this football club, and we do what we do because we love it. But to raise the money we have, me as an individual, the podcast is now, I think it's over 55,000, Joe.
Is it really that much now? Well, there you go. Yeah, unbelievable.
It's phenomenal. Ben and I are going to be doing a season review that is going to be coming out very, very soon. Ben texted me earlier and said, can we just get it out of the way, because I can't be asked to be hanging around.
True.
So that's coming soon. And just a final one before I say sort of goodbye. On Friday, it is the charity under 40s game at the Den for the Lions Food Hub. I am playing this year again. I am donning the kit. I'm in the away team this year. So if you're in and around the Den on Friday night and want to see a bit of a useless willing runner try and play football at the Den, a little bit like some of our players over the last couple of games, but I'm not going to mention any names. Come along Friday, 6:30 kickoff. All the donations and things on the night go to the Lions Food Hub. But as Joe said, we do this because we love Millwall. We do this because of the support we get from the listeners. I get messages from people. As I say, we don't know you personally, but we love interacting with you, and it's just amazing the support that we get. So from me, to echo what Joe said, thank you very much for your support, and we'll do what we can over the summer for you when there's content to talk about.
Nice one. Well done, mate. Cheers for all your efforts and all your help this year. And just to echo what Stato said, the following Friday, the 22nd, I think you see Jesper's comment on there as well, is the over 40s at the Den. So if you're
walking football,
if you're technical football, if you're around on Friday 22nd and you want to come down and support myself, and Jesper's going to be flying over, especially for the game, and also Paul's going to be there. Paul Donovan's going to be playing as well. Get yourself down and support us and watch. It'll be a fun afternoon and evening, of course. Hopefully the weather will be nice as well.
Paul in the over 40s.
Yeah. Don't let his height deceive you. I tell you. Get yourself down, guys. It'd be good to see you, and as much support we need as possible. Angelo, final words for yourself, mate, before we say goodbye.
Yeah, well done to you, Joe. You know, you host this 90% of the time, mate. So well done to you. And when you're not around, people miss you, mate. So yeah, well done. And obviously Stato and Disco, sometimes they jump in your shoes. So yeah, no, well done to you.
Brilliant.
As well.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you to all the viewers. Without the viewers, there is no Chat with Chaps, you know. So yeah,
100%.
I think tonight's helped me anyway. It's sort of I've almost forgot we played Hull last night, you know.
Yeah.
So
Don't remind us, Angelo.
I know. Listen, like I just said a minute ago, the team's done brilliant. We are moving in the right direction. And I'm sure there'll be some shows over the summer. There'll be we'll probably do another one of them, keep or sell, you know, and
yeah.
Then all the transfer rumours, who we're going to sign, and there'll be shows. We'll
do that, and then of course we've got the England games, Angelo, as well. I'm sure we might do some England stuff, perhaps, can't we, as well? Which should be quite nice.
And I'm going to try and do. I mentioned this to you, didn't I, Joe? A few months ago, yeah.
You playing the over 40s game as well?
No. No. Hopefully we can have probably the best ever interview ever done on Chat with Chaps.
Oh, yes.
If it goes in the right
direction. No spoilers, but that would be amazing.
Really, really
amazing.
So yeah, no, thanks for watching, and like all the other guys say, it's lovely to meet you out there in the field as well. So yeah, thank you.
Brilliant. I love John's comment there. So well done, Joe. When you're not here, the show starts at 7:30.
That was one time, John. Good
on you, John. Good on you, John. And finally, look, what can I say? Disco, mate, cheers. Yourself and Stato stepping in for us, hosting the show when I'm not around. And you've been absolutely brilliant. And I do appreciate your dedication to the lives as much as Stato has as well. And any final words from yourself, Stato, before we do that?
Hey, I got a bit of rhythm back now.
There you go.
Hey.
I'm waiting for the. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, baby. Yeah. See, you can tell I feel better now. Most definitely.
He's back in the game.
Still pumping it out. No, listen, Joe. Thanks very much. Listen, brilliant, Joe. You do a great job on this show. Genuinely, it's nothing without you leading the way. And look, other than last night, it's been a great season on the field. It really has. Progressive and exciting and, really quite unbelievable in a lot of respects. 83 points, third place, absolutely phenomenal, memorable, all that. But just as much, it's been really memorable off the field as well, especially with doing Chat with Chaps. You know, I really feel like I've made a good group of mates with all of you guys on the pod, but also the people, the viewers, and I really feel like I know some of them quite well, and it's brilliant. And as I say, certainly a bit of therapy tonight, and look, a lot of good things to look forward to, both on the field and off the field with Chaps as we go forward into another year. So thanks everyone, and look forward to seeing you all very soon.
That's great. Brilliant. Look, thanks very much. Guys, we're going to leave it there. And look, we can't end the last live of the season without this little clip. Guys, love you. All the best.
Sorry.
Toodaloo, motherfucker.